What's up, everyone? We are back. It has been, what, 2 weeks now since we went last live? I guess this is becoming a pattern
Allegedly,
here.
it's been 3 weeks since we've been
It's
live.
How does that even
it's
work?
it's because we're almost midway through the third week.
Oh, yeah, I
So
guess
we,
that
we did
is true.
Monday when we skipped last week,
True,
and
true, true.
so all of the week before, all of last week, and then most of this week, 3 weeks.
Did
Well,
you?
we're back.
Did you, yeah,
Yeah.
we're back.
We're back in the sack here.
Back in black.
Well, welcome back. I'm happy to be here with you guys. It's just been crazy, so it's I think a good time to get back together and cover some of this some of the juice that's been coming out. We got the
Wild.
title today is just pretty straightforward, faction focus, just breaking down and looking at kind of the stuff that's come out. I'll be the first to say on my end, I haven't been following it super in detail. I've been kind of just vibes checking everything that comes out, and I know these two have been perusing through the every little period and space in the in every article. So it's going to
That's
be
not
Oh
true.
yeah.
I'm trash. I've barely read the articles.
but it's gonna be good to go through all this stuff. So I'm excited. But before we get into that, how's the last couple weeks been for you guys? What have you been up to?
Rich goes first. He always makes me go first.
Boom,
What the?
got him.
All right, fair enough. I haven't really done anything. I ain't done shit. Nothing exciting. I've been reading a lot of books, and dealing with the car problems and broken phones. So,
What are you reading?
um, fuck, dude, what am I not reading? Uh, I think this was at the New Year's party that we had. I was talking with Carlos's wife Erin about the books I was reading, and I had read like 270 titles last year.
That's a lot.
It is a lot of fucking books.
I don't even know what to
So
say
like,
to that.
yeah, it's a lot of fucking books. It's kind of crazy. No, it couldn't. No, it must
Do you
wouldn't
have
have
a
been
good? Do
270.
you have a Goodreads?
Huh?
Do you have one of those like a Goodreads where you can like track your book reading and everything?
Well, I
You
read
know
them
what
all
I'm talking
on Kindle. So,
Yeah, but like
for the most part.
you can collect your reads in Goodreads. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Uh,
Have
But
you ever heard of it?
Kindle tracks that already, so I don't need to
Oh,
do it.
does it? I don't know
Yeah,
how
yeah.
Kindles work.
That's how I know how many. It wasn't 270. I'm lying. I'd have to look it up to tell you exactly what the number was, but it wasn't 270. That's too many. There's no way I read almost a book a day,
Yeah, that's a
right?
lot of books. There's no
Hold
way.
on. Let me. I'll look into it. I'll get back with you guys after. But like, I haven't done anything exciting. I've had a shitty couple weeks with my phone and my car being fucked up. So
I'm a Neanderthal and I only do audiobooks, but I do love listening to audiobooks. Also, I can tell you something else Rich has been doing,
not painting.
ignoring my requests to paint with me.
Yeah, I did do that. To be fair, Carlos, some of that is because my phone has literally been broken. So I broke my screen 2 weeks ago on my
I
phone.
remember that.
I got a replacement the next day, and the replacement randomly shuts off. And I've been
Oh
dealing with
wow.
I've been dealing with that, and I just got another replacement, which is a brand new phone, and I've got that right here. So a brand new
Beautiful.
blue phone,
Nice.
which I have to finish
Setting
activating. I
up.
haven't done that yet, mostly because my work requires me to have an authenticator, and getting that set up, if I were to change phones right now, means I'd have to figure it out without being logged in. So I'm gonna try to figure it out tomorrow while I'm logged in to work, rather than have to fuck with it. Um, it was not 270. I was wrong. It was 179.
That's still too many books.
But that doesn't count like the stories that I'm reading on like Royal Road, which are like I'm reading when they release the chapters. I'm reading by chapter. There's probably 40 of those that I'm reading.
That is obnoxious. I've
I
got to be
know.
honest.
I know.
I'm being told I'm a little quiet. I just got a
Yeah.
new mic. Kevin, let me know if leaning in fixes it. Maybe sitting back isn't the play. So we'll find out.
I turned you up a little bit as well, so that should
all right,
hopefully
all right.
help slightly. There should
Yeah,
be
yeah,
a
yeah. Groovy.
yeah. There we go.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I was alone this past weekend. I was an ineligible bachelor,
Wow.
and started painting Kragnos, which is really good. Could probably show him off a little bit here.
Let's break
You
him
just
out.
you just dropped something, by the way. I don't
Ooh,
know
he's
what it
looking
was.
blue.
It's a shield. It's the shield.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's
So, yeah.
Tuskbreaker.
yeah.
He's looking pretty
The
blue.
shield in
So-
violet.
So while most men go out and do dumb shit, I stayed home and painted and cleaned my house actually. So that was really cool.
I think that's what I would have
Cleaning-
done too.
Yeah.
Cleaning my house is on my list of things to do this weekend. So
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. But yeah, aside from that, just working, enjoying my new job, and trying to just keep myself
Hell yeah.
busy with Kragnos and something before 4th edition comes out. So
Hell yeah. Yeah, I didn't
Hell
really get
yeah.
into anything, honestly. I've been all over the place, just watching the Cubs, which is good. Painting dwarfs still, just trucking through dwarfs. But that's it. I don't know. Nothing. Work has been kicking my booty, so that's probably
fair.
been my issue. Been having a lot of finals and people not getting pushed through, which is super frustrating, but it is what it is, you know. You got to keep going.
of course, power through, baby.
Yep.
which does
Which
allow you
we
to
don't
push
know what
around
it
these.
we don't know what that
We still don't
means,
know.
but
We don't know what that does.
You know what's funny is I don't want to open up an old wound. Okay, I really don't.
Rip them open.
Okay, but
Tear the
I
stitches.
I saw something. Let me see if it was yesterday or today that gave me a little bit of indication that I think I'm going to be correct. You know what? While I'm doing that, Keith, you got let's move on to the first subject. But I'm gonna
you're gonna pull it up.
Find
All
it.
right.
I'm gonna pull it up.
He's gonna pull it up.
Well,
He's gonna pull it
getting
out.
getting
Whip it out.
into the first point of order, I think really the big things to talk about before we get into just going over all the faction focuses, honestly, is just any major takeaways that we had from the masterclass game.
Do we want to talk about the launch box first?
Yeah,
Or do
we could talk about the launch box. I think let me see if I can even find the launch box thingy on the website just so I can pull it up.
It should be pretty.
Yeah,
easy.
there we go.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm like, it shouldn't be hard.
I'm pulling it up here. Yeah, so we got this Skaven Tide launch box. I mean, it looks great. Like, for me, it's not that exciting because I know I'm not going to buy it, but it's a freaking good box. Like, what more can you say? It has objective markers. It has the game boards. It's got the terrain. It's got a ton of models. Like, almost every model in there is new, which is insane. Core book.
Clan Rats are a new sculpt.
Yeah,
I think
everything
every
is.
model in that list is new.
Every
I think you're
single
right.
model in the entire box is a new model, including the terrain. So I mean, this is an insane box compared to what we've seen before. But what yeah, I mean, take it away.
All right, first and foremost, Reclusians. Ugh,
So
they make me so happy. Just the existence of Reclusians is just it brings me joy. I love that that's the what they wanted to focus on when they did the video as well. The lady who's narrating it and who we see throughout the thing is a Reclusian, and their lore is just phenomenal. Lord Terminos and the Griffstalker mount. With the I forget what the lord who's riding that is, but all of those models are gorgeous.
So I've got to make one point, and I can't get this out of my mind, but doesn't the Lord Vigilant, doesn't his axe, he's kind of got a little bit of a flaccid axe. Do you guys feeling
Hold
that
on.
at all? Like, just pull
Hold
up
on.
his
no,
axe.
it's on fire, my guy.
No,
But
I
it's
see
a
what he's
little
saying.
flaccid, man.
It's not flaccid, it's curved.
It's just
That's
like,
the issue. It's
not
curved
straight.
slightly.
It's just not looking correct to me. I've been thinking about it this whole like every time I see the model, I'm like, that dude's a little flaccid with that. So even like look at the small bit.
No.
Look at the small picture of it when it's in the whole group. It very clearly is curved down.
Okay, it's a curved axe. Yeah, I've seen those before.
The handle of the axe is supposed to be curved.
Yeah, one of my favorite axes in World of Warcraft's like that. Lord Tyrannus' axe. It's actually really cool. Let me see if I can find that here. Lord
No one else has got a
Tyrannus
curved axe. I'm just
axe.
saying. Everyone else's axe is pretty straight. Let's see. Find some other axe. Yeah, like look at these guys got normal looking axes.
Let's see. Scourge Lord Tyrannus' axe.
I don't know. I think it's someone bumped it before they took a picture and they're like, "Oh, screw it. We're taking a picture of this anyway. We can't fix it."
There are actually plenty of like fantasy axes and some historical axes that have a curve to it, like that one does.
Here we go. I found it. I found it. This is my favorite axe in World of Warcraft. I just posted it in our chat for the three of us.
Okay.
It looks so jank.
It's
No
the
offense.
It's the tyrannical beheader, and it's got that curve.
All right, hold on.
No
I need
offense.
to
It looks a little jank.
note. All right, I'm bringing something up, and this is gonna seal the deal here for me. So we're gonna open up Paint.
Oh god, why are we doing this?
I just
Why are we
I
doing
just,
this
I
ourselves?
just will not accept that this is how it's supposed to be. Copy image. All right. So
He's gonna put a straight line right next to it, and you're gonna be like, "Ah, it's curved."
I am. There's no way this is supposed to look like this. It's it's bumped. All right. So let's rotate this a little bit.
The other thing that makes me think that might just be a trick of perspective is the fact that the way he's holding the axe is not like correct to hit somebody at that particular time. It's like he's
showing off for sure.
yeah.
All right. You know what? It might be.
Yeah. Like it's
might be.
I think it's a trick of perspective. I think you really should give a chance to see the model in play. To be fair, we could theoretically pull up the Spearhead because that model was in Spearhead, was it not?
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think it's the model's fault. I think
Is that video still on YouTube?
I think specifically this. Yeah, but it's straight. I mean, look at this line I just drew. It's pretty much it's pretty much a straight line. All right, I'm wrong.
There we go. There we go. We solved the mystery of the curved axe. It's not actually curved. It's just weird.
Man, it looks curved to me, but if the line tells the line tells the truth, so it is what it is. But yeah. Anyway, this stuff is all phenomenal. I mean, if you had to pick one favorite model from all of this, what would it be?
The Reclusians.
Which one? Which guy?
Oh, specifics?
Yeah, it's gotta be, you gotta pick
why are you
a
asking
model.
me specific, dog? Could you scroll down to the Reclusians real quick? Because I don't have them up.
Yeah, I just did.
I think for me it's going to be the prosecutors.
The prosecutors.
Yeah, I love the prosecutors. I think it's a big glow up. I know we've already kind of talked about them, but yeah, fantastic model. I can't wait to paint them.
All right. I'm gonna. It's the one with the seals on the shield. I think for me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is a good one.
Yeah.
He's looking good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with this guy, blindfold guy, blindfold and torch guy, the Lord Veritant.
You like the Lord Veritant?
Yeah, he's
Sure.
hard, dude. I like him
Alright.
a lot. I don't like his dog, but I do like him. He gives
I'm
me
also.
Illidan vibes are always on point. Like
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
That's
All right.
true.
All right. Yeah. Sorry, when you were saying the torch guy, I thought you meant the other one.
which other one? Oh,
The one right below it. I was very confused because I don't like that guy. The Night Questor. I thought you were talking about the Night
I'm not gonna
Questor.
lie, I like him too. I like it. I don't like his. I think
He
his.
gives me 70s vibes.
No, he gives
He
me.
gives you Conan the Barbarian vibes.
Ooh,
he
sure.
gives me
It's very pulp Conan the Barbarian vibes.
me
Yes.
Arthas
Ammo.
in between like turning, like as he's going crazy and like
Oh,
Okay. Okay.
sure.
I
taking
see it. I
out
see it.
yeah, like that
I
Yeah,
he
see it. I
gets
see
that's
it.
what
Arthas. This
he's
the
killing all
col
his
the calling.
subjects or whatever, like
Yeah,
right before
yeah.
he goes killing dad of
The
Strathholm or whatever.
the calling of Strathholm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. All
that's,
right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
yeah, he looks
I
pissed.
yeah. Okay. So I also think the Skaven models all look phenomenal too. Um.
Agreed.
The warp stone coming out of the shoulder piece of both the mount for the new mounted hero and the rat ogres, like
Yeah.
that's a lovely touch that gives continuity to the whole line. I just when it comes to like fantasy vibes, I vibe much harder with the Stormcast ones. Like,
I
you
actually
know.
think the warp stone coming out of this the mount is literally coming out of its shoulder, like
Yeah.
it's embedded in its body.
Uh-huh. 100%.
Sure.
And it's the same with the rat ogres. Look at the rat ogre one, the rat ogre shoulder. It's the same sort of thing.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's coming right out of
Yeah.
its shoulder. Wild.
Coming right out of his shoulder, which is horrifying, and I love it.
Yeah, super good. I like the rat ogres a lot from these. I mean,
Mm.
the Giselles I love as well. But we talked about those to death. I actually think the Giselles might be my favorite. I just like a long gun.
That's fair. Yeah, there's that. It's that same like crack in the skin,
Mm-hmm.
warp stone coming out of the shoulder, and I love little touches like that bring continuity to the whole list. Like
Yeah.
it's like, oh, this is a creature that was bred for war with warp stone, just like the rat ogres. It's just a different kind, but it's you can see the consistency
Mm-hmm.
in the inconsistency that this Skaven bring.
Yeah. The skin is like peeling off of its body
Mm-hmm.
around where it's at.
Mhm.
It's just really cool.
100%.
Really well done. Yeah. I got nothing else to say. I mean, it's a great box. I think if you did they drop a price for this or not?
265, I think, is what people are
265.
saying it's going to be.
It's a great deal.
I wonder how this book will be. The Skaventide book.
I mean, it's a great deal. You're getting terrain. You're getting probably $400 worth of models minimum.
Oh yeah.
Including terrain, yes.
No, even
No
excluding terrain.
way. Even excluding. Like, look at how much
I
would this
think-
be? Imagine,
so?
even imagine $50 a box to average things out. You have one,
I feel like
two,
each side is probably a spearhead box, which is about $1.30.
3, 4, 5, 6.
No, they're a little bit more than Spearhead because the Spearhead game didn't have all the heroes for Skaven.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Like if
Yeah.
you think about it, you get what? Do you get 10 clan rats in a box now? I've never bought Skaven before.
I don't
so
know.
Pretty sure 20 come in a box.
20 come in a box. So you call that 50. The rat ogres are probably 60. And you also have to remember that the prices are going to go up soon too.
The heroes
that's
probably
true.
65.
The mounted heroes are probably 60, 65. The foot heroes
Yeah.
are probably 40. The cannon, the Gatling cannon is probably 60, 70.
yeah. I
Sure.
mean, book as well. Like,
No. The Gatling cannon's probably $45.
nah, it'll be fit. Once the prices and everything go up, it's trying to be fit. It'll be fit. I don't think anything's gonna be that low except for like single box, like plastic hero boxes that they hang on the wall.
Yeah, the little blister packs that you get with the heroes.
Yeah.
I think
can't
those are
see
those are
anything
probably
being
gonna be like
less than
35,
50.
40 still. Well, with the price going up, they'll probably be 38, 40.
Yeah. But regardless,
Um,
I mean,
yeah.
this is insane value, and it's all good models. I mean, I wish that I refuse to buy it just because I'm not. I just don't need more models, but it's all crazy. Like
That's
a
that's
year
totally
ago, I
fair.
would have bought it like instantly.
I'm buying it because it's going to complete Stormcast for me. I'm gonna have enough points to make a whole 2,000 point Stormcast army at that point.
Yeah.
I often forget that you have your own Dominion
Half.
box.
Of the I had my own Dominion box, so I have the Cruel Boys, which I've increased over here, as you can see. That I still need to like finish doing, but yeah, I've still got I think it's these sprues right here are all my Stormcast.
Nice.
Because
do
originally,
it.
when I was making lists in like the early days of third edition, I was considering running Severeth and Yndrasta in the same list,
You
and
know,
just calling it my Monster Hunter Bros list.
I know some
That'd be
people have
good.
have been speculating that allies are gone. Has that been outright said that the ally system is donezo?
I haven't seen anything saying
Okay.
that.
Nothing to that effect.
Yeah, I'm gonna be so interested to see what happens with allies.
I also haven't seen anything referencing allies in
That's
any
that's
materials
true.
that I've seen.
We usually see that in the list building part of the GHB.
Yeah.
That's usually where we see that. So
I would
gonna
also
have
like to
to
point out though that most of the War Scrolls that we've seen have an order tag or like a chaos tag,
Yeah.
depending. That and then they have the faction tag too. Why would you need to do all that if you could only take one thing in a list?
Yeah.
I would say that's probably because of Archaon, Kragnos, and Nagash. I don't know why. I don't know why for order. I can't say why certain for order. Maybe to just not break that coherency, but that's probably why. Because Kragnos affects destruction, Nagash affects death, and
Could also be related to like team games and stuff like that if they're
Yeah,
baking
it
that
could
into
be.
anything.
that too. Yeah,
So,
for sure.
but yeah, overall, insane value, beautiful models.
Yeah.
I think if I had to give one critique of this, I would say I would have liked to see better terrain.
Sure.
It's fine, but it's not. I mean, am I like going to buy this terrain on the secondhand market? Like, probably not. You know.
No.
I that's sort of what I would love to see more of is just like instead of this having those four pieces of small like kind of useless terrain pieces, just throw in like one nice centerpiece terrain that you can like include on every table, you know, that's thematic, like something like that, like a tower with like a warp stone sticking out of it. That's, you know what I mean?
I think the idea was that they wanted people to be able to have a spearhead game out the box.
Yeah.
You know, like so
Yeah.
like so that and that's why you want to have those like little
Or smaller pieces of terrain.
Yeah. It's just what I want though. Not what's good for the people. It's just
Yeah.
But yeah.
it's just me.
What's good for the Jake is not good for the gander.
Yeah. I just want more. I want more terrain pieces. I want more cool terrain pieces, you know? Like what is going on? I think the last cool terrain stuff we've gotten are these. Really? These like gigantic disc things.
That's fair.
I wouldn't discredit Warcry. Warcry's had some pretty banging terrain sets.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
like rope bridges
Seraphon
between the
stuff.
trees and shit. Like
But
that.
a lot of that stuff's super cool though, but I feel like it's not playable in the game, you know? And even that thing I just held up kind of sucks to play in the game, you know?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, as far as like thematic wise, right? Like,
Yeah.
aesthetically, that's the word I'm looking for. As far as aesthetically, I think Warcry's had some banging terrain pieces for sure.
Yeah, I think that's what I want. I would just want a couple large, like very clearly impassable terrain pieces that would go with the Warcry stuff. So I could take the Warcry set and then have my two big impassable or like what are they calling it now? Place of power terrain pieces. You know, kind of like the they did it with the Seraphon like temple ripoff piece. Like that's a good
Yeah.
example. Like
Love it.
give me more stuff that's like about that size, maybe a little taller, that I can just toss in with my Warcry stuff, so I have a full set of cool terrain that can go well with this. But other than that, that's a nitpick from me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so that's that. Let's get into it. Let's get into some of these faction focuses and just kind of go through the articles together, right?
We're gonna talk about the masterclass though, right?
Oh yeah, we could do that.
So
Hit me with it.
I think we can probably give him. No, yeah, you know what? Yeah, we'll talk about the masterclass. So we can probably even go a little deeper into it as we're doing these faction focuses, to be quite
Yeah.
honest.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what I'll say. Just my quick overview. Um, I think it looked great. I think just watching how intensely you had to monitor your CP was something else, man. You know, like every decision mattered when you were gonna actually all out attack and all out defense and redeploy, countercharge. All of it mattered every single time, and so I think you know, without making sure I don't talk about faction focuses yet, I think debuff anything that could buff and debuff without spending a command point is going to be huge this edition.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely massive. So, um, yeah, the game looked clean. The flow looked clean. That's what I have to say about that right now.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't watch it in full, but I watched kind of the first 30 minutes of it just to get the flow of everything, and I agree. I think it seemed like everything flowed really well. No, the game is the same game. I think that's what was important to me. It's not like stuff is changing so monumentally that it's like we're feeling like we're playing a different game altogether. It's all still Age of Sigmar. It still functions the same way, and I think that's a massive positive. So from my perspective, it just seems, and from the feedback I've heard from other people, it just seems like they've successfully done what they wanted to do, in that it's the same game, it feels the same, but it has a higher level of nuance, and each individual decision has become has more weight to it, which is overall significantly a good change, you know.
My takeaways from that are that Lumineth are phenomenal, and I'm so looking forward to being able to build an army with them. They buffed the hell out of my Boru's. Um, they buffed the hell out of Severith. Like both of those units got major glow ups in my opinion.
I think Severith looks nice.
I mean both.
Helan just looks nice.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's Helon anymore. I think it's Wind Temple. I think they got rid of the nations. So
I hope they cut down on the keywording with all of that. I mean, I know we've seen a lot of the stuff from them, but
I think they're both Huracan. They're
Yeah.
Huracan, Venari, and Sonari, and Alarith. Those are the four.
mhm.
I mean, we've seen their allegiance abilities. We know what they do.
Yeah.
And
Um,
like things are the I mean, it's basically almost the same. I would say like they're still hey, like if
we lost
I-
Aether Quartz.
you lost Aether Quartz, but the ability to buff your army based on what army you brought, right? Like, hey, this turn Venari are going to be really badass. This turn your Helan are going to do really cool stuff, right? And so you can build them. I think you're going to be able to build better mixed lists
Yeah.
and not be shoehorned into, oh man, only my Helan are going to be good for this whole game.
Yeah.
As opposed to now it's like, okay, I really need my um what's the stone temple called?
Alarith
Alarith. Yeah, like, oh, I need my Alarith to
or
to hold
Ymetrica.
yeah, Ymetrica. Yeah, I need Ymetrica to hold the line this turn. So
Yeah.
So this turn I'm gonna make sure Ymetrica gets the extra stuff. Or,
It's
oh,
Alarith. Ymetrica is the Great Nation.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Sorry, I had to
Or
go
like-
get my food, so I couldn't
Yeah.
correct you in the moment.
Or like, oh, this turn I'm gonna really push my Boru's up and do like a strike and fade. So this turn I'm gonna institute the Helan rule. So I like that mixed lists are gonna have a lot of play, and you don't feel like you're just shoehorned into one particular temple.
Yeah.
And honestly, with the battle formations, because we saw the battle formation for the army, which was the Alarith one, and what that did was you just always have the Alarith facet active.
mm-hmm.
So if that's what the formations are going to be, that means that when I'm playing with my Boru's, I can choose the Sonari one to give me +1 to cast. I can choose the Venari one to give me the 5-up mortals. Which brings me to my next point. I'm sure we're losing spellcasting units I don't think the wardens and the sentinels are going to be able to cast spells anymore.
Yeah, I would imagine that change happens for sure.
Because they're not, they're probably not getting Power of Hish because that's the facet now, right?
My imagination has it that if you have those leaders in the group, like the whatever the warden like leader guy with the sword,
Mhm.
probably gives like a +1 to cast or something to heroes around him. Maybe I don't know. They're gonna have to work in something with that character model, but we will see. Um, yeah, I'm excited though for Luminath. I'm excited to see what they do with the River guys too, because we didn't see any information on that at all, and they weren't being played. So,
I mean, they're not gonna talk about that until
yeah,
to the books close to coming out.
yeah, I'm because I would imagine that will be the next drop for Lumineth. Will be those dudes are coming, and then also maybe another cavalry unit in here. You know, they like to give
Hippo
Lumineth a bunch of
Cav.
shit.
Hippo
Hippos.
Cav. I'm here for it.
Oh
I'm
god.
ready.
Hippo calf.
I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just so thrilled that my Boru's are 4-up save. Like having a 5-up save and 3 wounds now rather than 2 wounds. But they lost fly. Or the ability to go over terrain is flying.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we know now that that's the case. So
But they might still be buffed by the Wind Mage. The Wind Mage might still give them the
Wait, so did they lose the fly keyword off
they
their
don't have the
scroll?
fly keyword anymore.
do they have it now?
Interesting.
Yeah, well, no, they have go over terrain like fly, and then when you're wholly within 6 inches of the Wind Mage, or wholly within 24 of your Wind Mage general who has the command trait, they're treated as flying, and they get an extra +2 to move. So they go from 14 and going over terrain as flying to 16 and having true flying for that turn.
What does the Stonehorn do now? Oh, sorry, Stonemage do now? It did something for them.
The Stone Mage for the
Yeah,
I don't.
definitely.
Did we get the Stone Mage's scroll?
Yes, I just don't
I
remember
don't
what it did.
think we did. Hold on.
I don't think we did.
I don't think we saved it.
I don't think we got a Stone Mage scroll.
I thought we did. We probably should have
No.
kept it. We probably should have kept it somewhere safe.
I honestly, I didn't save any of the Lumineth stuff because I just assumed that they were gonna pull. All right, here's all the Lumineth stuff you've already seen as one of the faction
Yeah.
focuses in the first week, and then they didn't
so,
do
too.
that. So I was like, okay, well now we're out of luck with all the all the Lumineth stuff.
I didn't save it anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's probably fine.
We'll get it though. But normally at least how it currently works, those units, the individual mages, like the temple mages or whatever, they don't directly really do anything to the non, like they like synergize with their temple. So like the Alarith stone mage like synergizes with the hammer guys, and then the wind mage synergizes with the Boru's. So
They used to synergize with Severeth, but now they don't no more. They used to heal Severeth and the other Spirit of the Winds, but now they don't, and it's sad.
which
But
that I mean,
that's
that speaking just to before we smash a dead horse for too much. I mean, that's one other thing I would like to see with Lumineth is all of those individual mages having less of a need to be like brought with a unit of their like friendly temple or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, because I love some of those wizards, and I would love to just take all of the wizards. Like, the wizards are the coolest part of Lumineth for me. I have one of each of the temple wizards like painted up nicely, and whenever I play them, I have to kind of siphon into one specific thing. I want to take all those wizards regardless, though, just because they're cool.
So you don't want to see spells tied to keywords.
Yeah, I would prefer not.
Sure.
I would prefer to allow this. Sure, keyword is spell, but like I would want to be able to. The thing that is specific with them now that comes to mind for me is the stone mages like artifacts all affect the like wound characteristics. It like gives the wound characteristic of the stone dudes an extra wound or whatever, and it's like
Sure.
I don't like that. I don't like taking an artifact that only interacts with one part of my army specifically. Obviously that's a little bit different, but I just want to see them all. I want across the board wizards to be more like, I don't know, have more flexibility, I guess, for Lumineth.
Oh, and moving shrine. The
Oh
shrine!
yeah, dude,
It flies.
let's
I'm so excited.
go. I'm gonna need to. Let me pull up my shrine really quick. I want to show you what I have on mine.
So by the way, here's what I did find.
That's a cow.
Posting it now in our chat.
Oh my god, you did find it.
Booyah. Booyah.
So here's what I did with my shrine here. When I originally got it,
Oh, adding to the rend. That's right. I do remember them talking about that.
I put a base on it.
So good.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, but look, like, how's this gonna function now? I put it.
I think you maybe have screwed yourself a little bit there, bud.
I know now that it moves and actually like because previously I
So-
just sat this here and I'm like can we just say that we're measuring from the circle and everyone would be like yeah sure, but now it's
You better get that base. You better take that base off, man.
I know it's not a good thing for me.
I guess in the grand scheme of things, I don't know. It's probably more honest that way. I don't know.
That's why I did it. I was like, all right, if I'm measuring like a ward or something from this, it makes way more sense to measure it from this base than it does from the little waterfall ends. And everyone I played was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Giving yourself a couple extra millimeters there, bud.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really think it's that big a deal because honestly, if I was measuring, I would want to measure from the rock of the shrine anyway,
yeah.
and that's wider than the waterfall at the bottom.
But yeah, that's my issue there. So we're gonna have to
So
pry that
the
baby off.
The Alarith Zone Mage, Carlos did find it, does have a buff to the Alarith units.
Mm-hmm.
Alarith Aelf units specifically. So it doesn't work on the big cows. And that's, you pick a friendly Alarith Aelf unit wholly within 12 of this unit on a 3+, add 1 to the rend characteristic of the melee weapons for the rest of the turn.
That's from the showcase.
Yeah.
That we saw.
And that's on the Stone Mage specifically. So I'm hoping.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I'm hoping that means that I still get my wind chargers flying.
I that's what I think is gonna happen. I think the wind mage is gonna, if you start your movement, give them fly with it if they start within 12 inches of them.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
You don't even have to give me extra movement. Just make it flying.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, let's break into some of these faction focuses.
Oh boy.
So.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy!
Starting off with the big bang, the first one, Stormcast. So let's just go top down.
Yeah.
We've got the battle traits here. From the top, this is what they showed. Big thing just to note, just across the board, is that like this is what 15% of probably every army that we're gonna see throughout all of these. So in Discord and everything, we've been sending the memes around, and people have been doomsaying about their armies. Like, just it is
Chaos
what it
balding.
is.
Chaos dead. They're toast. They're dead in the water.
I was definitely screaming from the rooftops today. That's for certain.
Yeah. So just, I mean, obviously this is a hint at what we are gonna get, but we don't know for sure if this is everything. There could be a ton more. This could be everything. Who knows? And just War Scrolls is all that comes out. So we don't really know, but
Well, the battle traits are going to give us the vibe, right? The baseline vibes. But the problem is that no matter how much we bitch and moan or praise something, we don't know the spell lores. We don't know all the command traits. We don't know the artifacts and the point cost. The points are going to matter
Yeah.
so much, you know?
That was something I wanted to bring up about the masterclass. Just now, I was thinking about it. So we did some calculations on the masterclass, and
Oh yeah, this is a great point.
the armies themselves were like 1,700 to 1,800 points, give or take a few. And obviously these were full 2,000 point lists. I don't actually know if they maxed out to 2,000. They didn't say, but
You would assume that they would, though.
they were close at the very least. Especially since I don't think we're giving out triumphs anymore. At least they didn't talk about it.
They didn't talk about it, so I doubt it's even a thing. It's probably gone.
So you're probably trying to make it as close to 2,000 points as you can. Obviously, your benefits that you're getting from list building are making sure you're not running auxiliaries. We've seen that already.
Yeah.
But both armies had one faction terrain that is significantly more impactful than it used to be, and two, in theory, both armies have a manifestation lore as well. So some of the point cost is going to manifestation lore, which is something I want to bring up when we talk about KO.
Yeah,
because
100%.
because I think that I feel like there's a lot of negativity towards what we're seeing with KO, at least in the Discord that we're talking about.
Depends who you ask.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I think looking at KO, like I was explaining it to my friend David, and he didn't sound thrilled by the changes either, and he's a KO player. But again, we don't know what it's going to look like, and I think the point costs are going to bear out in KO's favor. But that's something we can talk about when we get there.
Yeah,
I just wanted to.
That's a good point too. Not to harp on KO because we'll get there, but with the manifestation lore,
We'll get there.
yeah,
Yeah, the manifestation lore. I mean, for Lumineth in the masterclass, if the points stay similar, like if you consider them to be similar, which they seem to be doing. I want to say that it's like almost 200 points worth of endless spells between the Sanctum of Amontok, the Hishkin Twinstones, and the rune.
I think on average those endless spell packages are all around like 200 points. Like just if you look at what they are currently.
300, yeah.
Yeah, and
So-
we don't know what the Kron Spine's looking like either, but the Kron Spine's also an option for manifestation lore.
That'll probably be the last thing we see. Like we're gonna see like because there's nowhere to really put him, right? It's gonna be here's all the factions and the rest.
Yeah, here's all the other stuff. But yeah, so anyway, Stormcast. So here we got the battle traits here. We've got the four kind of options here. We have the deployment phase, Celestial Realm, declare if there are more friendly Stormcast Eternal units on the battlefield. That's the one thing you can deploy into the sky. Pretty classic. The same as what we've seen before. Scions of the Storm. You can pick a unit that's deployed up in the sky at the end of your movement phase, drop them down. Classic deep strike, nothing crazy there. And then we have obviously the once per battle, which costs a command point. This is the replacement. You could basically set up a unit with half the number of the models that was originally in that unit, rounding up, same as always, and bring them back from after they died. Again, we've seen this rule in Stormcast. It's just now put here as a once per battle for a command point. And then the last thing, also something we've seen, but they now have their finest hour as a battle trait. And
So good.
this one is +1 to wound and +1 to save for a unit. And you do this once per turn in your hero phase. So you're selecting 5 different units throughout the course of the game to have this finest hour, essentially, for that turn. So super powerful, super cool.
If
quick,
I may, it's once per turn, not once per round. So it's 10 units that are getting it.
Yeah,
it's
but
just
it happens
hero
in your
phase.
hero phase.
Your hero phase. Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. I take it back.
Yeah. Still good, though.
There's a question in the chat, and I don't actually know how to answer it because I don't know what they mean. It says, "Do we know if the rule of one is still around?" Caleb, I don't know what that means. Do you guys know what that means?
The rule of one.
I don't know what that means. I've
Yeah.
heard of the rule of 3 from like 40k, where you can't take more than 3 of a unit.
The rule of one.
I'm
The
not
rule
familiar
of
with that.
the rule of one hot boy per team in a team
Oh,
tournament.
well,
You can only.
in that
No,
case-
that's not true. That's not true. That rule can't be true. I've seen too many hot teams.
Yeah, I don't know. Clarify what you're asking, but
Or if anyone else in the chat knows.
yeah, rule of one.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
What would the rule of one be?
I don't know. We'll just wait to see when it gets typed out.
But
yeah, Finest Hour, super strong, super powerful. Love it.
yeah, I think it's great. I mean, spoiler, but we are all pretty much in agreement that Stormcast is going to be relatively powerful. So, just those battle traits off the bang are just straight up solid. You know.
Yep. I currently have them at S tier.
Yep. Into this battle formation aspect here. So we have the Ruination Chamber, Ancient Aura, any hero phase once per turn. So this one you're selecting in every hero phase.
So good.
Pick a Ruination Chamber unit. They have a 5-up ward. Period.
Our Ruination is gonna be so strong.
So you're just picking
So good.
stuff, giving it a 5-up ward. Whatever that unit is, as long as it's in that chamber, you're good to go. Insanely strong and is flexible. I think that's the main
Yep.
thing. You can be flexible with this. If a unit needs the ward, it automatically gets it. You just pick it.
Yep.
You don't have
No
to cast
roll,
it.
No rolling.
No rolling. So I think that's across the board something that's that we're seeing more of is just consistency. Maybe things aren't as powerful anymore, but they are getting more consistent. And this is a super good example of that. Just like the consistent ability to give something that needs it a ward or whatever it may be is just really, really, I think a great include here. More flexible play style. So
Yep. I think it's gonna really give you the strength to pick your engagements and just come in hot. You know, like, hey, my unit of 6 boys, they're coming after Nagash. They're gonna have +1 a wound, +1 a save, and I'm gonna give them a 5-up board, baby. Let's go.
now, the thing that I am curious about how this will like work out in the game is, can you select a unit if it's off the table? Like if I wanted to bring in a unit from the Celestial Realm or whatever, and go for a solid charge, and it's my turn, can I select them, give them a ward with this, or is this like do they have to be on the table?
It doesn't say they have to be on the table.
Historically speaking, the rule set have always indicated that abilities have to exist on the table for them to work. A really good example is that in 3rd edition, or the edition we're in now, Beast of Chaos have a unit that says, "Hey, if you use your heroic action, you have a range of 18." Well, there was a lot of infighting because they were like, well, what if you're off the table? Because Beasts of Chaos could use their abilities off the table.
Yeah.
So they had to FAQ it to say, hey, this could work off the table. They also had a command trait that says, hey, when you deep strike in, you deep strike at 7 inches. But if your guy wasn't on the table, people were arguing you actually can't do that because your guy's not on the table. So you can't deep strike from 7 inches in unless your general's on the board because that ability doesn't exist. So I don't think this is going to be the case. I think they're going to stick to that rule of you have to be on the table for your rules to exist.
I would imagine that that's going to be it, but you never know. They could be changing it. I haven't seen anything that would change it, but I think you're probably right on that. Arcana and Incantations. This is the one, I think the only like spell lore type thing we've seen from this preview, but a prayer on a 6 cast. So obviously changes to how prayers work, but a prayer on a 6 cast, and we have pick a friendly Stormcast priest to chant the prayer. Add 1 to the attack's characteristic of the melee weapons until the start of your next turn. If the chanting roll was a 12 up, this ability affects all visible friendly Stormcast Eternals unit within 12 inches of the chanter, which is wacky. I think that's crazy good. Getting to the 12 might be a little tough. You're kind of cooking. You're cooking over the course of the game to make that happen. But
So there is a thing to note in this particular instance. The 6-up declare is Stormcast Eternal's infantry unit.
Mm-hmm.
However, the 12 does not have a restriction on what type of unit.
Oh, sure. I mean,
So-
it's the big,
so
the
you're-
big bonus, yeah.
You're out here buffing your fulminators. You're out here buffing your Dracothians. You're up here buffing your dragons. You know, the big fucking dragons. Those are all getting buffed by that 12.
yeah,
But the chances of you getting that 12 are in 2 turns are low. Assuming you're not sitting next to a place of power, getting the bonuses. You know.
yeah.
It's more like a turn 4 throw everything in the kitchen sink at your opponent.
Yeah, you're cooking for the big bless weapons, like
Yeah.
over the course of the first couple turns to kind of rack those prayer points up if you want to make this happen. But I mean, if it happens, it's definitely good if you're playing the slow game for that moment, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna get into it, but you guys know I am still currently very underwhelmed by chanting and priests in general. So we'll see. I think it's gonna take a couple games of seeing priests do their thing to decide where I land on it. But as of right now, I just don't think priests are good.
Not to derail it, but the next faction focus with Feck will be super interesting to see what they do with the priests in that. I think that will be one of the that and Fire Slayers will be the major
Slayers, yeah.
all right, how will this actually get effect, and maybe Corn too when the Corn stuff comes out.
For sure, Corn.
Corn will be a big one. Yeah.
I mean, so we know there is something to be said for the faction terrain and the places of power making prayers more consistent, because the rules that we saw for prayers didn't say unmodified roll of a 1. It said a roll of a 1, which means that anything that gives you +1 to chant automatically means you can't fail and lose D3. You're always getting at least 2.
That would make me feel so much better about praying.
I'm
I mean,
pretty
again,
sure that's
like I said,
I think that's how it works.
yeah, because the rules, because we've seen the rule already in the chanting section, and it said a roll of a 1. Obviously, when we're talking rolls, we have to talk about modified or modified. Again, maybe they're losing like things being called out unmodified, and it's in the core rules that all requests for it are unmodified, but
Yeah, we'll see.
we'll see.
Yeah.
But that's
right now.
that's something I wanted to point out when we're talking about that. Like, if you're getting a minimum of 2, yeah, you have to at least roll better than a 1 to get this prayer off. But if you consider all of the buffs that one can get in Stormcast, you are +1 to wound, +1 to save, +1 to hit with all-out attack. You are +1 attack from this prayer, and you, if you're a Ruination Chamber, you're a 5-up ward. You can literally stack all of that on a single unit and just send it. You go, hey, listen, this is now, like, it wasn't a beat stick before. It could be a unit of Vindictors, and it would still be kind of brutal because it's just so many stacking buffs.
So the prayers, it is the declare step of each prayer will tell you to make a chanting roll on D6 of D6. On an unmodified chanting roll of a 1, the prayer fails. So
a 1 will always fail.
All right, so 1 will always fail. All right, well, that's
Which-
unfortunate.
I don't think was in the. I don't think that was in the thing that they posted, but it's a fact from me. It's a trust me, bro. Fact from me.
Can you fucking chill?
Hey, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Anyway, moving on. So we have Krondis right here. So Krondys will be the next war scroll that we're looking at. We're just going right past prayers right now before I get in trouble.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
And so we're on Krondys, and here's his scroll. 20 wounds,
Looks good.
3 up save,
3 up save. Good God.
5 for control. I mean, he's looking good. He's looking good. He can fly. He's big. He's got a ton of damage.
He's got
Apex
a roar.
Apex Maw is insane. I think I was looking at this. I think you can get it up to 4 rend, right? If you're hitting an infantry and also something else that I remember reading. You can make him just rip.
Oh, so if he casts Atavistic Tempest and he chooses the Flash Freezing Blizzard, you subtract 1 from save rolls for the target.
Yeah. So disgusting.
4 rend on infantry, 4 twos and twos because you're all out attacking, 4 rend 4 damage attacks into infantry.
Which can we just talk about how Krondys breaks the rules that GW already set for themselves? They were like, "Hey guys, we want everybody's war scroll to make sense. So all monsters hit on 4s." Krondys is like, "Hold on, hold my pauldrons,
Just kidding.
hold my greaves."
So that's the thing. The rules that they talked about, and honestly, we probably should have started with that.
Yeah, I completely
article.
forgot that even dropped.
It's fine. We're past
But
it.
yeah.
Those are baseline. Those are the baseline monster things. Krondys is not a baseline monster. He is a named character who is who is an ancient dragon. If he be hitting on 4s, I'd be kind of upset.
No. So here's the thing, though. I think Krondys should have hit on 4s, and I think Kazrai should have hit on 3s, because Kazrai is supposed to be the big meat stick.
guy.
Yeah, the meat stick.
Bro, I think Kazura is going to hit on 2s.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
know what?
You just wait and see when
Twos
he's
and
hitting
twos,
on
dog.
2s.
Shut up. No, he's not.
Yes, he is. Believe it.
He's gonna be getting up to
Karazai is
5.
going to be hitting on 2s. Karazai the Scarred going to be leaving scars all over your opponents. 100% hitting on 2s.
The one thing from this war scroll that stands out to me, like just big time, is he basically just gets roar as his on his war scroll. So we're removing the monstrous rampages, but giving monsters seems like every single one a rampage on their war scroll that they can do. And in this case, he's just getting roar. So that's not that flavorful, really, if they're just going to be giving every monster a roar.
Well, not every monster's getting a roar. So
They'll be getting different stuff, but
I would say, though, this is actually probably more impactful than you're thinking because it stops it for the rest of the turn.
yeah, which is
So you're not powering through.
Yeah.
You're not all out defensing. You're not all out attacking. In an addition where we're really restricting how many command points someone has.
Yeah.
You're saying, hey, sorry, you can't use those like super uber important command points you've been saving. Like imagine going at the bottom of a round, and he's just like, hey, listen, you had all these command points that you saved for this guy, but Krondys says no.
Yeah.
yeah, Krondys says no.
It's a little bit more impactful, but I still think it probably could have done something a little bit more flavorful with Krondys in this case.
Yeah.
I agree. I think this should have belonged to Kazrai. Like, again, not to just keep saying the same thing, but like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Kazrai's gonna have 2 rampages. You're here first, folks. 2 rampages. You get to pick. One of them's the roar. The other one's like an uber stomp.
Uber stomp. Sure.
Uber stomp. Like D3 plus 3 damage, something like that.
Yendrasta
Oh yeah.
with the glow up for sure.
Queen.
What is it? The math is that she can potentially kill a Gargant in 1 turn if she rips, assuming that this passive affects their ranged attacks too.
It does. Let's not start that argument again.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain it does, but
Yeah.
No, it does.
It does. So yeah, her max damage output, if she makes every single attack, is 35 against monsters. Therefore, she can one-shot a Mega Gargant. Baby.
we
As
love
long
it.
as they don't have 40 wounds.
As long as they don't have 40 wounds, correct.
Yeah. As long as they stick with their 35. For all we know, the Gargants may go up to 40 wounds. We don't know.
And in a lot of ways, it's really like she just needs to hit. Like, she's going to have 3 rend into them all, so it's not like they have that great of a save against it. So,
I know.
like, she's just ripping them, dude. Like,
three rend against Gargants.
like, ow.
But remember that the Blade of High Heavens, which is 15 of her damage for that, requires her to have a 2 rend because it doesn't get buffed.
Yeah.
But
It's still good.
she can be their finest soured. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Imagine Yndrasta with those buffs I was talking about. +1 to hit, +1 to wound, +1
And
to
+1
save,
attack.
+1 attack on all of her attacks. Like,
Yeah.
woo!
She gained War Master, which is pretty interesting. I don't think she had that before. She gained.
I have no idea if she
yeah,
did or didn't.
I'd have to check.
yeah, she gained War Master. She has a 5-up ward, which is Billy.
Well, it's a bit less now. A bit less than what it is now, right? Because she's a 4-up ward now.
Yeah,
Isn't she?
Yeah, but her damage now though.
She's also an infantry hero.
Yeah.
Let that cook for
Yeah, it'll be. Yeah, I mean that makes sense, right? She's used to 1-on-1ing monsters, not 1-on-50ing a bunch of anti-infantry
Bunch
stuff,
of guys.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, she is not a War Master currently.
Yeah, so that means a bunch of 6 Croxagores will probably come in and slap Yndrasta around for sure.
she can resurrect though. That's my point.
What do you mean?
With that prayer.
Oh, the hero resurrecting prayer. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
resurrect Yndrasta. Disgusting.
Dumb.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah,
good.
moving forward, Night Arcanum pretty much exactly the same for the most same flavor. Like the stuff with manifestations can't like get close to him.
Did you see he's the only one we've seen so far that has anti-manifestation weapons, which means that's probably how the rules.
I did notice
probably
that.
that's probably how the Witch Hunter rules are gonna roll in. The ones that currently like, shoot endless spells off the board.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's probably what theirs is gonna be. It's gonna be their gun has anti-manifestation, so that's super cool.
That is cool. That's cool that I didn't even think of that. But you'll have heroes that you can specifically send into like that are good at dealing with endless spells, which just adds an entire new element that just doesn't exist right now, which is very cool.
Yeah, Night Arcanum used to be kind of ignored, I think, and I think now with everyone having free endless spells, you might see more Night Arcanum running around the board.
I also think he has the coolest hat of any Stormcast. Like that is a cool mask right there.
Oh,
Sure.
I was gonna say he's not wearing a hat; he's wearing a mask.
It's like a full head hat.
Semantics.
A full head hat. I mean a helmet. He's wearing a helmet
he's
with
wearing,
a mask.
He's wearing a sick full head hat.
God damn it, Jake! How dare you?
So yeah, and look at this guy's hat, the Annihilator. Really good full head hat there.
They stayed literally the same. 2-up save, 3 health, 4 movement, brace for impact, blazing impact.
The
their
strike
attack
last,
profile
I think,
stays
is
up.
different. I don't think they gave strike last.
Correct. Yeah. Now they can give strikes last on a 6-up, which is pretty spicy.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, dude,
overall, they're just good.
everything in Stormcast. This was an S tier, in my opinion, an S tier reveal.
I love the prosecutors. 3d6 charges.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, these are spearhead rules now.
Oh yeah.
But I'm pretty sure the
I would-
prosecutors are keeping the 3d6 rule,
I would
considering that's
imagine.
what they had before.
Yeah, probably. I think we can ignore spearhead.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're gonna be here forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, TLDR on Stormcast is solid. S for solid.
I'm gonna go ahead and put them not in S tier. I'm gonna put them in A tier.
You're
All right.
clowning.
I'm not. So let me cook here. So the issue I have with Stormcast is, yes, we've just talked about how they sound hella OP. However, aside from Lumineth, who I think have a similar level of kind of ridiculousness, they're the army that, aside from Lumineth and Skaven, they're the army that we've seen the most rules for.
Oops.
We've seen the most War Scrolls for them. We've seen the most rules for them. We've seen We have 3 of their battle formations, which is we're assuming the Lumineth ones, so we know what they should theoretically do, assuming that they keep the same theme. But Stormcast, we've seen the most of. We've seen the most of their models. We've seen the most of their war scrolls. We've seen the most of their rules. I think that I don't want to put them at S tier because I feel like we need to see that level of rules from everybody before we can really pick an S tier unit.
Well,
I'm basing it just off. I'm basing it just off this faction focus. Like, we know that save stacking is gone, okay, and they are now an army with a 3-up save across the board who can save stack that too with all out defense and finest hour. So, like, when the chips are down, they can be at a 1-up save and +1 to wound and throw themselves in your face. That's nasty.
Mm-hmm.
That's not to mention any other offensive buffs you give them. Like, come on, like that's gonna be so frustrating. In a game where the lethality has dropped, you know, for everybody, these guys are gonna be holding the line, and that's gonna be so strong.
I'm putting them in S for now. I think based on what we've seen and what we know, they're the best army so far. And they can definitely go down. There's definitely potential for something to come out a little bit more cooked up, but at the moment, I think they're an S, in my opinion.
So far, they have 1 counter, and that counter is actually my A tier, but we'll get to them when we get to them.
So let's get to Skaven, and we'll try to blow through these. But Skaven here, we'll go through the battle traits for sure. Deployment phase, pretty similar kind of deploy off the board type of sitch here. Pick a Skaven unit that has not been deployed, set it up in reserve. Difference here is that you don't need anyone on the table, so you can just deploy right into the sky from your first drop, which is good. We love that. The next thing would be the once per battle round. This is related to their gnaw holes. So basically you have the 3 gnaw holes, and we can go into how this works, but you bring them down individually to give you a little bit more flexibility on where you're going to be dropping stuff and where stuff's going to be coming in, which I think is really cool and a really good change to the gnaw holes. And also, based off this, if you kill a gnaw hole, you can continue to bring a new one down. So it could be round 5, your opponent kills a gnaw hole, and then you can bring one in. So a lot of cool play with the gnaw hole changes here, and I think it's gives Skaven a little bit more finesse, just generally, which is good. Yeah. Too quick to hit. A lot of
flavor there.
Yeah, tons of flavor. I love it, and it's thematic also with just like how the gnaw holes looked even in the reveal of them, and just like them coming out of the ground out of nowhere. It's like a gnaw hole popping out of nowhere. It's just cool. Too quick to hit. No mortal damage inflicted when Skaven infantry retreat, which is great for them. Yeah, very much what I would have expected there. And then gnaw hole ambush. This is how they come in from the gnaw holes. It's basically a deep strike essentially from a gnaw hole. And then the last thing is once per turn army enemy hero phase. Pick a non-monster Skaven unit that is not in combat. That unit can use the normal move ability as if it were your movement phase, which is super cool. We love
it.
Yeah, amazing. I really like that. 10 out of 10.
Everything here is they're quick, they're wily, they're moving around the board. It's
Skaven.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's Skaven. I love it. Popping up everywhere. Now you see me. Now you don't. I'm out. Fuck this battle.
I love it. The always 3 claw steps ahead is so cool to me. I just love that kind of like interactive play. It just opens so many doors up. Doesn't cost a CP either. So you gotta you know when you're playing Skaven, you're always gonna have something moving around. You never can really pin them down, which is great, and that's how they should be. Battle formations, the Flesh Meld Menagerie.
Mm-hmm.
This could be a mouthful. So once per turn, army, your hero phase, you roll a die. Self-destructive fury on a 1 to 2, inflict D3 mortal damage on the target, which the target would be yourself.
Yarp.
No, no, it's 3 friendly non-hero molder units. So
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, it would be you. You'd be taking the
I'm
damage.
sorry. When you said yourself, I thought you meant like the hero, and I'm like, there's no hero involved here.
Oh no, you're killing your own models though with
Yeah, you're
1 to
killing
2.
rats.
Very
Rats.
Skaven. Very Skaven.
3 to
Okay.
4, add 1 to the attack characteristic of the target's melee weapons.
Rats.
Awesome.
Good.
And 5 to 6, they get a 5-up ward. So
And
Rats.
and the infusion and the
Yeah.
attacks.
Yep, and the attacks. So you're looking for that 3-up, 5-up. Obviously, you want the 5-up, but great.
I think it's great. I think some people said it was. Some people have said that they thought it was a little underwhelming. I think it's actually pretty strong, especially if you go a little heavier into the molder. You know, +1 attacks and a 5-up board. And if it was till end of turn, I'd probably argue it's pretty underwhelming, but it's not. It's until the start of your next turn, man.
Yeah,
So that's really fucking good.
I think the reason that people would say this is potentially underwhelming is just because it's coming literally directly after the Stormcast one, which is just pick something and give it a 5-up ward. And in this
Sure.
case, it's you have to roll a dice for this, so it's by default worse, but on the 3-up and really on the 5-up, it's obviously
Yeah.
better. So
Yeah, for sure.
it's in that Skaven. You know, you would imagine that Stormcast would be a little bit more consistent. They're a little bit more in control. Skaven are a little bit more roll the dice, you know? So I'm fine with this. I think it's still very powerful if you are getting off what you want. And it's also 3 units. So that's also a boon, right? You're picking 3 and this is happening to all of them. So
Yeah, on average, when you're picking 3, one of those units is getting a 5-up.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's a 33% chance to get a 5-up on a D6. That means
Yeah.
that if you're choosing 3 units, on average, one of them should get a 5-up.
Yeah. So by dice rolling standards, it's better, but it's also requires a dice roll, so it's a little bit. It could go wrong for you, but overall, I think this is great. I think it's good and it's flavorful. You know,
Yep.
it does what it needs to do. Arcana incantations, summon Warp Lightning Vortex. So this is one of the manifestation lore for them. The well-loved Warp Lightning Vortex. This goes off on a 7. Gets summoned. Again, we haven't really figured out how if these start on the table or what is going on with this stuff. But assuming this starts off the table, you summon it, drop it down, roll a dice for each target on a 4-up, inflict D3 mortal damage. Effect: subtract 2 from run rolls and charge rolls for any enemy units while they are within 6 inches of the manifestation, which is good, obviously. If an enemy unit passes across it, or obviously within like the range of the 3 pieces, you take D3 mortal damage after the move has happened. So I think this is pretty similar to what it did
Yeah.
before.
Yep.
Still good.
Solid. Yeah.
Strong. Just strong piece. 6-up save, so you can hit. I'm assuming any piece of it will. They're treated as 1.
Yeah.
7 health, 7 up to banish it. Warp Lightning Vortex looks good.
Yeah. I think it looks solid. Nothing negative to say about it.
Yeah. And then we got Screech. This is my favorite part of this.
Go for it.
This dude rips, man. Like this is Catacross level damage here. 7
Yeah.
attacks. He can be on 2s and 2s. 2 rend. He's critting. He's got Nandrite weapons, so he's popping on 6s. 3
Which
damage
is
each,
nice.
2 rend. It's good. He's got a rampage, as we just talked about, so pick an infantry unit in combat with him. On a 3-up, they can't use commands, and subtract an equal amount of the roll from your target's control score. So this is just a better roar for units on that just hurts units on objectives. I don't know how anything's surviving after getting in combat with this guy though. So, but regardless, I mean it's just better roar, so that's good for them. Um, in addition, we have the Clan Rat spell here. Roll 13 dice for each 5 up, inflict a mortal wound on the target, and you can bring back Clan Rats for each slain model. So
So good.
super good. I mean, it's just overall solid. And then hero phase, you get to pick one of these. Add 1 to charge rolls, add 1 to hit rolls, add 1 to rend, add 1 to chanting rolls. So basically, whatever you need, you can get from this guy, depending on when you need it. And you're just doing this every hero phase. So
He's so strong. He's a great centerpiece.
yeah, amazing centerpiece. It's a beautiful model too. So
He has every clan keyword, and I don't
Yep.
know if that was a thing before. Maybe
don't
Ivan
think-
can tell us.
I don't know
but
if I don't know if he did. I
Ivan
know
can tell us. He's in the chat. But yeah, that's so good. That means you can literally, throw him in the army, and he's just going to be a centerpiece for everything.
yeah.
So that's so good. I mean, even his spell has things specifically for certain types. So
Yeah.
that's amazing.
And-
Great
and
great
I-
centerpiece model.
I'm a lover of centerpiece models just overall, so it's just makes me happy to know that, like, honestly, if Screech was like this a year and a half ago when I was looking to buy another army, I probably would have picked Skaven up. I've always been right on the edge of Skaven, and I've just always felt like, man, they just don't have that good centerpiece model that I really want that can play well with the army. And now they do. So I think that's awesome.
The chat has confirmed he did not have every keyword before. So
Yeah.
what a glow up. Beautiful.
Yeah, there you go. 10 out of 10, amazing. I love him, and I want to kiss him.
Archaon techless level nonsense.
Yeah, we love it.
Archaon techless Nagash level nonsense.
I'll take it. Rat Ogres, new models, beautiful. Shoots in combat, 2d6 attack. I mean, they're just strong. I'd say they're just fine.
They're good.
Yeah, they're just good.
Yeah.
Just
And I mean, they're Molder, right? So they can get the extra attack. And then if you do D3 mortals to yourself, you can't kill yourself right off the cuff, which is super cool.
Mhm.
That means you can give yourself 7 attacks, 4s and 3s, 1 rend 2 damage. Probably.
Assuming
good.
you don't fail the Molder roll.
Oh, true. Yeah.
You fail the Molder roll, you could lose a model,
Yeah.
and not get those Well, you would get these extra attacks, but not the
I think so.
not the other one.
I think some sweaty rat ogres with 7 attacks and a 5-up board probably good.
yeah.
It's what you can have 6 in a unit because they're three a piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're looking at what's that?
30.
30? No, 42.
Why? Oh, because you're doing times 7. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
42 attacks. If you get all them buffs off and don't die horribly.
It's 3 models per unit, correct? Or is it 2?
Yeah.
3? Yeah.
It's 3. Yeah. So reinforced, you've got 6. If you get both the buffs off, you've got.
You've
7
also got
attacks.
4d6 shots too with them, which is at 2 rend a pop, which is pretty nice. And they shoot in combat, so yeah. I mean, I think they're solid. Warp Lightning Cannon. I don't think I even read this War Scroll, to be honest. Warp Lightning Blast. Each attack made with this weapon in a single phase must target the same unit. Okay. Each hit inflicted just does a mortal. Okay.
Yep.
So you just roll 2d6 and then you roll 4-ups for all of them, and they're mortals. Cool.
Or 3-ups.
Or 3-ups.
Because they can
All
be
out
all
attack.
out attack.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
out attack,
True.
baby. Let's go.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. So so you would declare all out attack before you roll your 2d6 though.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
100%.
so you could roll 2 1s.
Yeah, and then the more and more Warp Lightning is just add 6 attacks. It
Yeah.
gives you a level of consistency for, if you roll a 1, you're taking D3 mortals,
Fuck it.
Yeah, YOLO. Make it happen.
2d6 plus 6 shots. 2d6 plus 6 mortal wounds. Oh yeah, baby.
Yeah, we'll take
But if you roll all 1s, you're dead. If you roll like even a couple 1s, you're probably dying.
So
You know
just
what I mean?
to be clear, the Skaven get the Warp Lightning Cannon, 2d6 plus 6 mortal wounds on a 3-up, but ogres lost their charge. Got it. Got it.
Someone's salted.
Someone
Um,
is asking for more salt on his ogre meal.
Gnawhole, we already talked about this, but
Yeah.
basically you're bringing the Gnawhole in to deep strike your guys, as well as giving some mortal damage.
And recursion.
And recursion. And
A
endless
recursion
recursion.
command.
Endless recursion, I might add.
It is the endless vermintide. It's in the title.
Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah.
Well, that's gross. We're just gonna forget we saw that.
You can't forget it. This is where since you didn't watch the whole masterclass, you missed like turn 4 Skaven popping out of the Gnawhole to take an objective and score a battle tactic that I personally didn't know that they could do that. So I'm like, man, he's gonna fail this battle tactic, and then just Skaven just right out the hole, and you're like, oh well, that's a completed battle tactic somehow.
The Skaven
Somehow.
is here.
Yeah, that's dirty.
Yeah.
I'm here for it though. I'm a recursion lover, so. And then we got this spearhead stuff, which we can kind of skip through.
Skip it.
But yeah,
Next one.
overall looking really solid. Pulling up the paint dock here.
I currently have them at B tier. Second best B tier. I currently have them. I think the movement shenanigans is great. The recursion is great. They've kept their flavor of, hey, things can explode in my face, but good mid risk, mid reward. Mid risk, good reward is what I meant to say. Sorry, yeah, mid risk, good reward currently, and I don't know. They look good. They feel great. I'm excited to finally have 2,000 points with the box now. So because
I have them in high B tier, low A tier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking about the exact same.
high B tier, low A tier, 100%.
The problem is that because they have the Skaven rules where they can blow themselves up, I don't think that with how they are, they'll ever be consistently S tier, just because you can't account for randomness when that happens. Like,
Correct. Yeah. Correct.
So, but that's why I have them. I think high B tier is lock. I think low A tier is dependent on points.
Points
How
and,
many,
and
how
more
many
stuff,
rats you can fit in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and more
100%.
stuff to be revealed. So
Yeah.
100%. Right in the same zone. Gits. Love 'em. You either love them or hate them. Let's be real. But
Love them. I love me some
love 'em.
trolls.
so Gits. Battle traits here. Oh god, this is a lot of words. You want to take over?
Yeah, I got this. So basically, for the most part, it's similar to how it is currently, where depending on the type of unit, you get a different effect from the Bad Moon.
Correct.
So the Bad Moon still starts in a quarter. It still moves. Most of the things that you're seeing stay the same. There might be some slight differences into how frequently things happen, but non-squig Moon Clan unit, add 3 to its control score. So that's your Stabbas, your Shooters,
Yep.
Stabbers and shooters aren't Moon Clan?
non-squig Moon Clan.
Oh, non-squig Moon Clan. Got it. Okay, carry on.
Yeah. Stabbers and Shooters? Yeah. Oh shit.
Nip.
Saw some nip there.
We
Saw
got a
some
nip.
nip nops.
We got a
Hey.
nip slip. I think this might also include the Fanatics, but I haven't double checked what's Moon Clan and what's not. But adding 3 to your control score, you're just bodies. Your body's on an objective. You're sitting there with your shooters doing shooter things, doing stabber things.
Yep.
And I don't think we've seen if they have their like increased range of like controlling an objective, but honestly with how small the objectives are, I don't think they're going to keep that. But that's neither here nor there. We don't know yet. Lunar Squigs, if the unit is a squig, you can re-roll the random characteristic roll for its move.
Kind of underwhelming, to be honest.
Honestly.
Yeah.
A
They used to be
little
able to run it.
underwhelming.
They used to be able to run in charge under the Bad Moon. Now they can't.
Yeah.
No squigs.
Moonlit Hide, add 1 to your saves if you're a Troggoth unit.
Same.
Nothing changed. All the same.
Drugs.
Spider Fang Venom, if the unit is a Spider Fang unit, its combat attack score critical hits on unmodified hit rolls of 5. Same stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing changed there. So the only things that changed are the Moon Clan and the Squigs changed.
Yep.
I don't remember what Moon Clan used to do when they were under the light of the Bad Moon, to be honest.
Sam's in here, so he'll tell us. So yeah, Sam, let us
Pretty
know
much,
what.
he says
Moon
pretty much
Clan-
every goblin is Moon Clan, so that checks out.
Okay.
But what did the Moon Clan do now? I mean, I could look. I could go pull them up in.
Yeah.
It
Why
must
don't you
not
go
have
ahead
been
and
that impactful.
yes, go ahead and scroll down to Squigalanch while he's looking that up.
Yeah, so Squigalanch.
That's the first.
Fury.
Yeah, every time a friendly squig charges, add 1 to the attack characteristic of its fang-filled gobs. Massive fang-filled gobs or huge fang-filled gobs for the rest of the turn. For the rest of the turn, pretty good. That's what they currently do now for the for the squig subfaction. So yeah, glad they got that. Glad they kept their subfaction ability because it's really strong.
So Sam did confirm Moon Clan currently under the light of the Bad Moon have a 4-up rally. So since we got rid of rally, it wouldn't make sense that they kept it. That checks out.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Well,
I mean, we
yeah.
have rally, but it's not the same rally.
Yeah.
So how do you guys feel about things that buff control score rather than control? So to be clear, control is the characteristic that every single model has. Control score is the total cumulative individual, and then anything that buffs control score is just add that number on top of it. So for example, when these guys are under the Bad Moon, they just add 3. It's not 3 per model. Do you think that's too weak, or do you think it what do you guys think? Do you think things that add to the individual models would be too strong?
I think so.
So I think things that add to the individual model would obviously be too strong, because if you're looking at a unit of Shootas or Stabas, they're 1 currently. Unless they're 0, I don't think they're going to be 0. I think they're going to be 1. If you added, say, 1 to that, you're talking about moving a unit from 20 control to 40 control.
Yeah, I think it's too strong to add the cumulative control score.
But they're just Stabbers, though. They're probably gonna have a 6-up save.
Well, hold on. Let me point out another thing that that makes it better in this favor, where they're adding control score. The unit adds control score. It doesn't matter how many models are on the objective.
Sure.
Yeah,
You could have
you
one
could tow one guy.
one shooter, one stabber with his toe on the objective, and that's 4 models.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's the flexibility that's coming in. You know, you gotta allow the flex.
Yeah.
That seemed very Italian. That's the flexibility.
It's the flexibility. I'm not Italian at all, but it's the flexibility.
No, yeah, you're probably right.
I think at minimum it's probably good to start off this way, where you're adding to the score and not
The
making
overall
it cumulative.
score.
Yeah. And then if that ends up being a little bit underwhelming, maybe that's something that they tweak down the line. Or
I mean, you could, with this one, it's so much easier to balance than a cumulative score, because you're like, oh, hey, 3's not enough. Give him 5.
yeah,
You know that.
Sure.
exactly.
Then you have one model counting as 6 units, or six models like that.
Yeah.
You know, you can balance that a lot easier than say, oh, hey, we gave them +2 to their control characteristic, and it's like, oh,
Now
so these are
what?
60. These are 60 fucking things, and it's like, oh, well, we'll drop it down to 1. There's still 40 fucking models. It's too many.
Yeah, exactly.
You could give it to like units that are smaller. You could give to their control value, like a 5-man unit getting +1 to their control characteristic, making them a 10-man unit. You could do that, but for a Shuta or a Stabba, that's a 20 model count, like spooky.
Fair.
Yeah. Sneaky distraction. So this will be a spell. Until the start of your next turn, subtract 1 to hit rolls for attacks made by enemy units while they are wholly within 12 inches of the caster. I'm pretty sure this exists already.
That's
right?
already a thing. Still really strong.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
However, now it is unlimited.
I didn't even
yes.
catch that.
You
God
can
damn
cast it more than once. You have 5 casters in a line, and all of a sudden the entire fucking front is now -1 to hit.
Yeah.
And
Dirty.
I get that it's all, you can never be at more than -1, but god damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
two
rough.
of those. The balancing to this though is that you have to be wholly within 12.
Yeah.
So
Just create a whole line of -1 to hit.
Yeah. 3 casters
could.
get this off, and you have the whole board essentially.
but it's also a 7 to cast, so it's not exactly like
It's not easy for
Easy.
Gitz to get that 7.
you're probably getting it off most of the time with your boy Scragrot, but I mean even Scragrot's only given +1 to cast, right? Or
2.
no, he doesn't give any cast value anymore.
Yep, Skagar doesn't have any bonuses. We can go ahead and move to him.
Oh, love
Skagar
that.
doesn't have any bonuses. Fangs of the Bad Moon still strong. Yep. So I think it got better because I think it used to be a 4-up Mortal Wounds.
Nope. It was a 3-up. It's gotten worse.
No, it's still 3-up. Fangs of the Bad Moon right here.
Yeah.
Every 3-up. Every
18
3-up, it
inches
affects 1
make-
Mortal Wounds.
What was the cast value for Fangs of the Bad Moon before?
I don't know. Maybe that's what got worse. But
It was
right now
a
it's-
3 to cast before.
That's what it was.
This has gotten significantly worse. It has gained 4 to the cast value.
Sheesh.
There you go.
So, before when you were talking about Scragrot, you're hitting, he's got +1 to cast. You roll anything but a 2, and you're out there fucking doing mortal wounds. In addition, the range went down
Sure.
from
Probably,
24 to 18.
Probably for the best. Probably for the best.
Yeah, the spell was kind of strong.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's a
And he
little
has a-
cheaper though,
he-
but still
he has a-
retains
he has a
his
4-up
go ahead.
ward.
He still got his 4-up ward, but he lost a save characters. I think he was a 5-up save before. Let me confirm.
Interesting.
Confirm. Scragrot, the Loon King. Yes, he's currently a 5-up save, 6 wounds, 5-inch move with a 4-up ward. So he lost a
All right.
save, didn't gain any wounds, stayed at
Got a
4-up
worse
ward,
spell.
and a worse spell. And he doesn't give a command point anymore, which is fair because no one gives command points
No
anymore.
one gives command points. Yeah.
Um,
He can still move the Bad Moon, which is nice.
Yeah, or hold the Bad Moon. I think, right? Yeah, move or hold the Bad Moon.
Yeah.
Also,
Alright.
it's
He's fine.
His babbling wand is interesting. It's giving you a buff to the redeploy command.
Yeah.
Minimum of 4 inches moved redeploy. That's pretty good. I don't
Yeah, I
know
think that's
how
pretty
good it is,
solid.
but I feel like that's pretty good.
Yeah, probably strong.
But he definitely did get a little bit of a glow down. He's
I
not
think-
quite as shiny.
I think they just they took away his moon aura too. So when you're by Skagrot, you're not under the Bad Moon.
The one thing I
to
really
be
do
fair, though-
like about the Babbling Wand is that it's if you roll a 1 to 3, so you can roll the die and get a 5 or a 6 still, which is
Yeah.
nice. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that you have the option to still potentially roll higher than the 4.
Yeah, your minimum 4, maximum 6 still, which is great. There is one thing to mention is that he counts as Moon Clans. So in the Light of the Bad Moon, he counts as 5 models on the objective. He's got a control score of 5. Look at him go.
Let's go.
So he's basically a monster at that point.
Competing with ogres now. That's nice.
I think he's fine. I think he's point dependent though.
Yeah.
And I think he's sort of currently like just an auto include, right? Because you just need him
Yeah.
for the moon situation, and he's a
He'll
little
probably
pricey.
stay. He'll
Yeah.
probably stay in auto include for the moon situation.
Yeah.
But now he can be pointed like reasonably rather than still being underpointed at 230. I
Yeah.
think he'll probably be closer to 170, 160.
Yeah, I was thinking like if he comes in at 180, he's still an auto include in every list and is probably pointed like that's a little bit more accurate.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Gabapalooza.
Gabapalooza.
I don't even know what these.
Same.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know what these guys did or do or anything. I just know
They're
that
dumb.
I go try to kill them immediately every time I have the chance.
They're dumb.
They're still pretty good.
They lost a cast. They lost a spell cast.
We'll take it.
What do you mean?
Because so they used to be a unit of 2 wizards.
The reward still
Now-
degrades over time.
Well,
But
what makes you think that? Okay, so how many models are in Gabapalooza?
5,
6.
6.
I don't remember. It's a number that's odd. It might be
Okay.
5.
So here's an interesting question then. Does Wizard 1 mean the unit is a Wizard 1, or does
Yeah.
Wizard 1 mean each model can cast one?
Oh, absolutely not. It's they get one cast. This because it's these are the keywords for the unit. It's not the keywords for the model.
Sure.
Because if you're thinking if it was the keyword for the model, then every model would be considered a champion and a flag bearer when you have a model that's champion flag bearer, right?
Hmm.
All right. Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. So one cast versus two casts. They I think used to have their own built-in War Scroll spell. I'm looking at them now. So they were in fact 5 models. They were still 3 wounds.
6 up save, I think, is the same.
6 up save, 5-inch move. They still have the degrading ward. In the first battle round, it's a 4 up. Second battle round, it's a 5 up. Third and subsequent, it's a 6 up. Yeah, they had the mesmerize spell and they had the fungoid cloud spell.
Oh, so did their spells just get rolled into like now you roll the 3 up and just pick one?
Yeah.
No, they had the Gobapalooza know what's as well.
Oh Jesus Christ!
I know they're dumb. They're the dumbest. Like, oh hey, let's include this. Silly.
So on 3 up, you're getting essentially add 1 to.
Oh no,
which is the
mesmerize
same.
was one of the spells, and now it's part of the 3 up.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, sure.
But the nasty poisons was also part of the Goblin know what's, as was the glare face dance. Let me see if they changed them.
I know the -1 to rend was a thing. I don't know about add 1 to. I mean, you basically you pick the poison
fair.
every time. You pick the poison
Yeah.
and then you put the -1 to hit as well, and I mean, at least that's what would happen against me.
So, Fungoid Cloud
Feels like they're missing
is
something though.
Fungoid Cloud is gone, and that's the one that if a unit of a friendly Gloomspike gets unit is wholly within 12 of the Gobapalooza.
Negative
The
one.
minus
They're
one to
minus
hit.
1 to hit.
So they,
yeah,
but they gained sneaky distraction, which is that spell, the unlimited spell. So that makes sense. So they didn't lose it actually.
So yeah, so they still have it. Got it.
Yeah.
So Gallapalooza didn't lose shit. Understood.
no, they lost the cast. They lost the cast
Because they were 2 casts before.
because they were 2 casts before. They
But one of those casts is just a thing they can pick now. So
Not a
they can
3-up.
literally just.
No,
but they
because
they
the
also
3-up
they
was
lost
still
one
like
of the
that.
things that they would be able to pick now too.
Not if they just take the lore of the clammy dank.
No. Not the sneaky distractions. They lost Petal Potion, which is pick 1 friendly Gloomspike gets hero wholly within 12 of this unit. Add 1 to hit rolls and wound rolls for attack made with melee weapons by that unit until the start of your next hero phase.
I mean, did anybody ever really pick that though?
No. Honestly, you probably could have picked it on one of those like big Gabo squig units. The hero riding a
Oh sure.
Mangler squig. That'd be kind of gross, but no one did that. But they did lose something, and they lost a cast.
Yeah.
All right, fair
And
enough.
granted, they could pick it, but then you're not. Before they used to be able to do mesmerize and
And the other
then
one.
still pick a nasty poison or the glare face dance or this other thing. Now it's one or the other.
Yeah.
So they have to make more choices in this case.
Yeah, I mean, this is just another case of what are the points, and like, can you just potentially take a wizard, and these guys are cheaper now because they lost it, and it doesn't make a difference, or like, what does it look like? But
Yeah.
overall, they're still in a fine spot. I think they're still in a good spot
Yeah, no,
for sure.
for sure.
Squig.
They're also
Herd-
control
ahead.
2,
Oh yeah, that's
um,
nice.
which is kind of neat.
So they count as 10. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the count is 10. And they're 3 wounds apiece.
Squig Herd only has 1 wound now. Thank God.
Love it. I love
Thank
it.
God.
Necessary change for sure.
And they can only count as 1 on an objective, no matter what. Good God.
Yeah, I like this.
R.I.P. R.I.P. Squig Herd.
I hope to God though that they're like mega cheap and just like all over the board. You know what I mean?
Can you? Okay, so I know for companion rules, you can't have your attack characteristic be affected. So can they still be given this the nasty poison for +1 to rend? Probably, right?
Yeah, no.
'Cause
Not
'cause
to
it's
the
a-
companion, but it would be to the Squig Protter. Correct. right?
Companion says you can't change the attack characteristic or
No,
anything
it
that
doesn't.
affects the attack sequence.
Rend affects the attack sequence.
Yeah, so they can't. So
I don't think so. I think crit mortals affects the attack sequence, but I don't think Rend does.
I think it does because it affects the attacking, like the save roll of your opponent, which is part of the attack sequence, right?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna have to find the companion rules. I know
That's-
where they are. But yeah, Squig Herder can only count as one, which is good. Squig Herder remained the same, good for them. The Squig's Gone Wild remained the same, good for them. Yeah, I mean this was a necessary debuff for them. I mean, a necessary nerf. Squig Herd just the amount of buffs you could give these guys was just ridiculous.
Yeah, the save roll is in the attack sequence. There's a chart.
Oh.
Sure,
But
the save rolls in the attack sequence, but then yeah, maybe you're right.
the rend affects the save rolls.
Yeah.
It's nice that they're still getting affected by Bouncing Fury because I think Bouncing Fury
calls it out.
Out. So that's good. So you're looking at 4 attacks, 4s and 3s, rend 1 damage.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
It's a reasonable set, and they can also get commands now.
Mm-hmm.
Because they couldn't before. So now we're all out defensing and all out attacking with these boys, which is exciting. That's new.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
I'm into them. I think this is what I want Squigs to feel like. So I'm here for it.
I'm also glad that they're not going to be 36 or whatever, 33, whatever the double reinforced Squig Herd was.
Well, it'll be 12 now, right? Is there 6 models in a unit?
No, there were like 11 or 12 models in a unit.
This says 1 out of 6 models is a Squig Herder.
Yeah, so you can have 2 Squig Herders in a unit of 12.
Okay.
So it's 10 Squigs, 2 Herders is a unit. If they're I'm pretty sure that's what it is now.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
So-
I'll take it. We love Squig
But
Herders.
it's not what 72 wounds anymore. It's maximum of 24 wounds.
Which is
That's
great.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
All over good.
Well,
Last thing.
Why
from-
can't all out attack happen?
Hmm?
Kevin? Oh, if you're saying it's because they're companions, I'm fairly certain that companion attacks can get the all-out attack because they played it like that in the master class with the Hell Pit Abomination, which is a companion attack. They gave it all-out defense. No one went and corrected them, and they did correct certain things elsewhere.
See, if you can all out attack with them, I think you can
Yeah,
also
that'll
give them
need to-
extra rend.
That'll need to be clarified then, because I would normally say that you wouldn't be able to all out attack if that's how companion is worded. From my logic.
So,
My
So
my
issue
interpretation
with the issue with
Go ahead.
companion is that the companion rules specify allied abilities, not commands.
Oh,
That's the trick.
Oh, I see. Yeah, this
Okay.
weapon is not affected by abilities.
Abilities. Unless
By
unless
commands
they
or
consider
not
commands abilities, then they were playing the master class wrong, which is possible.
It's
We have to really actually hold the rules in our hands and look at them with our eyes to make sure. But from what we've seen so far, you can still all attack them.
Yeah.
Because they did it with the Hell Pit Abomination.
Because they did with the Help and Abomination. Again, that could have been a mistake, but we're gonna base it off of what we've seen and the fact that they called back the Help and Abomination when it did the 2 claw steps ahead. They fixed that error in the game, so there's no reason why they wouldn't have called out the Help and Abomination getting the all-out attack.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming I'm making an ass out of myself and you, but I'm assuming that
Yeah, we'll see.
they can all out attack.
Yeah.
And they can definitely all out defense, regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
The Loon Shrine's looking loony.
Yeah, Loon Shrine. 12 inches, you're under the Bad Moon. I think that's the same. Set up a
Yeah.
replacement unit for a command
I'm
point.
I'm glad they didn't change that because that's good.
Half the number of models. So this is different, correct? Now you just
Yeah.
spend a command point. So again, an
Yeah.
example of consistency over whatever we had before
Consistency while also
at a price.
at a price, something that you have to plan for, and something that you can plan for, but that your opponent may force you to not be able to take based on what they do with you having to use command points.
Yeah.
You know, it's a choice that you're making to save this command point till the end of your turn. So if you're going second, it's possible you may reach the end of your turn and you don't have a command point because you had to spend them all.
Yeah.
But it's a choice that you made. It's not a roll. It's not a roll that's you re-roll it because you're, you know, King's gets. It's just you get it.
Yeah. Another thing, a thing I think is kind of fun, just from my brain space, is like you can be super risky if you're going first, because most of the time you're going to end turn one with a command point, you know? So you could just yeet someone up there and just do some damage and lose that unit, and then just, all right, we're coming back. So
yeah, it's a great Boingrot Bounder play. You just send them up the board, you let them run into a whole bunch of units, you kill a thing that you're wanting to kill, and they got killed. Well, let me just bring them back.
Get a favorable trade for a command point that you're gonna burn anyway. You know,
run it back now, boys. Run it back.
But yeah, so overall, Loonshrine gets looking solid. Let's pull up our paint doc. SABCD. What are we feeling?
I have them at low B tier. That's where I have them.
So for the purposes of spreading things out, I'm gonna put them at high C.
High C.
High C. But the reason I'm doing this is not because I think they're like legit a C tier army, but I think everything's just gonna get clustered into B.
Yeah, well, we haven't gotten to ogres yet, so
just got to spread it out a little bit, you know.
I think we can put them in B tier still. I think so.
That's where I got them.
I think we can put them in B tier still. I think that even if we do get clustered in B tier, I think having like one S tier, a couple A tiers, and a bunch of B tiers is probably decent for where the balance is at. But I think they deserve at least a low B tier. I don't think they make high C. I think they at worst I would call them low B.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's okay to be clustered in B, just because I think it's going to speak volumes about the state of the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, 100%.
So
I'll give it to you, but I have a
he has a disagreement.
I have a thing to say about this.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Who's next? I'll get into that at the end, but.
Night Haunt, baby. Let's go.
Haunt.
So a little controversial, this one in the Discord at least.
Sure has been.
Has it really? I haven't been keeping up.
Yeah, there's been some back and forths about Night Haunt. Big change here, just to get through it somewhat quickly. Discorporate, they still have it for a command point, so they're getting the 5-up ward if they want. So no changes there.
Good shit.
They're still ethereal across the board, so no changes there. Then the big thing here is their charge phase abilities have not totally, but pretty much changed how they function, like in the stack, I guess, if that's how you want to say it. So you still can get the -1 to hit. You can still get the strikes last. You can still get the -1 to save. You could still get all of those, but you can only use them each one time, and they all come from different like types of units, essentially, right?
Yes.
So
they are tied to a specific keyword.
Yeah. So go ahead if you want to rip through it, Carlos.
Yeah, sure. So Night Haunt unit, that any Night Haunt unit can give -1 to hit, and then any Night Haunt unit can also.
I'm trying to read Wave of Terror right now, trying to figure out what it's actually saying.
Yeah. So any Night Haunt unit can give -1 to hit. A War Machine or Cavalry can give you -1 to save. So that's what that's tied to now. And then any Night Haunt hero can give you strike last. Yeah. So those are the three that they are.
So the big thing is that this actually is an instance of the colors being somewhat convoluted and confusing. you want to look at the Wave of Terror ability at the top right of this section first, which is the effect. So effect friendly Nighthaunt
Yeah.
units can that are in combat. Um, they basically, if you charge, you can Wave of Terror essentially,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
you can select the Aura of Dread ability or whatever. I don't know how to read it, and then you're selecting one of these depending on who's in combat and what types of units you have.
So I would say that Wave of Terror, as far as I understand it, not only allows you to use one of these Aura of Dread abilities, I think it allows you to charge out of combat.
Correct. You can charge
Yeah.
from one combat to the next.
Mm-hmm.
But if you roll a 3 or less, you're not treated as having charge. So it's a bit of a like if you flub the roll, you're not getting the Aura of Dread, you're not leaving combat.
Yeah.
That's, I think, fair. You know, when combat ranges are 3 inches, if you roll a 3 or less, you're not leaving combat with the unit. So I think you just stay put, which is good.
Yeah.
I think that this is a great change to Nighthaunt. Personally, I think that this is better for Nighthaunt than what they've got currently.
I don't. I'm not gonna say better. I'm gonna say it's consistent. It's easy for you to pick and choose instead of fishing now for specific things. Like, oh, I'm gonna hope that I get this guy strikes last. I'm gonna hope that I give him -1 to save. You know, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be it's gonna be less oppressive, more consistent, and more selective. So you're gonna be able to really decide. Okay, I'm gonna go after this guy. He's gonna get -1 to hit. I'm gonna give him -1 to saves, and I'm gonna give him strikes last. Boom, baby, let's go.
Yeah, the reason I like this is mainly because it's trading like basically Nighthaunt played previously like you either get all the charge rolls off in the way that you need them to get off, or you don't, and you're kind of screwed. And in this case, you're always getting off the effects that you're getting, but it's a little bit more maintained, or like reined in, right? Which I think is better. It's more consistent. Again, it comes back to what we said at the beginning of just consistency across the board being something that they're focusing on, and allowing you to plan for stuff while still requiring you to make rolls and potentially fail, but you are able to make those choices rather than like just being at the fate of the dice, which I think Nighthaunt kind of hurt with.
Yeah, 100%. Nighthaunt in its current iteration is too dependent on getting your dice rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Ethereal and wards and these Wave of Terrors are all 3 things that are like you could flub a couple of rolls and just lose the game.
Yeah, 100%.
Carlos, I don't know if you know this, but you're muted.
I'm not talking to you guys. That's why.
Well, how am I supposed to know
guy
that?
over here.
How am I supposed to know?
Deathstalkers, retreat and charge, run and charge, beautiful.
No mortal damage on retreats. Wonderful.
Yeah, love
Excellent.
that.
Yeah, fantastic.
Shade Mist, this is one of their lore spells. This also is unlimited. -1 to wound. Choose a target within 12 inches of the hero that cast, or the wizard that casts the
I
spell.
didn't even catch that.
Amazing. Like,
so good.
this
good.
is the reason why I think Nighthaunt are going to be really. I think they're a little bit better than people are going to give them credit for. An unlimited
baby. I've
-1
got
to
him at
wound.
8 here, baby.
Yeah, an unlimited -1 to wound on a 6 is really gross. Nagash could cast it as well.
So the only thing I'm going to say
yeah.
with this though is that it is good, but it's short ranged. Wholly within 12.
That's still good.
So, but it's again, it's in your hero phase, so it's before you moved. Your opponents are like unless you're double turning, your opponents had a move to stay far enough away from your wizards that can cast this.
So here's the thing. All spells do say your hero phase. Okay?
Yeah, you can use that in your opponent's hero phase.
But you can use it in your opponents when you spend that command point.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still really strong because this is going to be a very fighty edition, I think.
Mm-hmm.
This like one of the things that I think is that this edition is going to force so much combat that being able to cast these kind of spells on your opponent's turn is so strong.
Yeah, just think -1 to hit, potentially, -1 to wound on stuff, on potentially every. If you take Nagash, you just spam this on every unit, right? And ethereal, like you're looking good. If you're Nighthaunt, you're looking solid in terms of just like survivability in combat.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm dumb. I was reading this wrong. I thought you had to pick an enemy unit wholly within 12.
No, it's yourself.
No, it's yourself. I'm dumb.
Yeah.
My bad. Never mind. I take it back. This spell's great.
Yeah,
It's great. It's
so
fucking
it's
great.
nice. It's nice.
There is something to point out. There are tiny blurbs below most of these battle formations that tell you a little bit about what some of the other battle formations do. In this case, Vanishing Phantasm sounds like it's going to be you're going to be able to set your guys up in reserve, or even perhaps teleport units. And Hunters of the Accursed sounds kind of like the old Emerald Doom, where you were rolling damage to kill
the different
to
battle
kill enemy.
formations.
Yeah. Obviously we don't know what the situation. We don't know what they all are. Like we're just getting the blurb, but like there's some other cool formations that means that
The battle
the
battle formations were the things you pick at the beginning of the game, right? Like I don't know. Is that correct or?
Yeah, they're the new
They have
sub-factions.
they have the 4 things, and you select one at the beginning of the game.
Yeah,
basically.
battle formations are the
Yeah.
new sub-factions.
Yeah, but
okay.
the question is, do you select them at the start of the game or do you select them in list building?
I think
Is
it was-
what I
You
don't remember.
list building.
Oh, is that how
That's
it
not
was?
that's not what Jake is saying. That's why I'm trying to. That's
Oh
why
no, yeah, Jake. It's
What?
during list building.
What was the thing that you selected? Remember they had a
You're thinking of this season's GHB ability.
that's
which
what
is,
it was. Okay.
Yeah, for a unit in your general's battalion
Okay.
can be given a special rule before the game starts.
That's what
I
it
did
is.
double check. It's battle formations are during construction army phase.
Okay,
So
perfect.
at least it's
Yeah,
it's not called out specifically, but like we're
So it's just
assuming it's during
sub-factions.
list building.
Yeah,
yeah,
that
it's
makes sense.
sub factions.
Okay, I was just making sure. Lady O, looking
Lady O.
looking good.
So fucking good.
2-cast wizard, 4-up ward, 4-up save, ethereal, infantry hero. So that's doesn't matter for her. Subtract 3 from the control scores of enemy units while they are within 12 of this unit, which is great. Pick a visible enemy unit within 18 inches. This is her spell.
So good.
Ignore positive modifiers to hit rolls, wound rolls, and save rolls for the target for the rest of the turn. Super
Delicious. Delicious.
good. Which is obviously good if you're stacking -1 to wound and -1 to hit and all that other stuff. So a lot of debuffing here. And then no rest for the wicked. For each target, you can return a number of slain models up to the D3 plus 3. So it's the heal.
Yep.
But a little better. I think her old heal was just 3.
Might have been D6.
Was it D6?
I think so. But
Let me pull up Lady O.
D3 plus 3 is better.
Yeah.
She has an inherent 4-up ward, which is nice.
Yep.
She had an inherent 4-up board before. Her like stats didn't change. Like she's still a 4-up save. She's a 4-up save before. She's still 7 wounds. She was 7 wounds before. 8-inch move. 8-inch move before. 4-up ward before. 4-up ward now. She's still a War Master. What she lost, or what she So, no rest for the wicked old was once per battle at the start of your hero phase. If this unit is on the battlefield, you can return up to D6 slain models to each friendly Nighthaunt summonable unit. So it wasn't wounds; it was models. So if you're rolling on a unit
This is
of
also
hex
this is
raids,
also
that's
slain
good.
models. D3 plus 3
but-
slain models.
But with the combined health characteristic of D3 plus 3.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So if you're looking at your cavalry units, before you were returning whole ass cavalry for each number on the dice.
it's a little bit of a nerf.
It's a little bit of the nerf in some cases.
It's more in line with what the other Mortarks do heals wise. So I'm fine with this. I think it makes sense.
Yeah, you're not bringing back on average you're not bringing back 6 hex wraiths if you get like horrifically lucky like you did before, but you're bringing back four minimum to every unit that's a 1 wound unit,
Yeah,
which is good. That's good business.
yeah, for sure. Reignor, he's looking solid. Kind of just like your combat
Nice beefy attacks.
dude. 5 attacks,
Yeah.
2 damage each, +1
Yeah.
damage on the charge, which is
Yeah,
really
3
nice.
3
Auto
damage on the
wounds.
charge, auto wound crits, like everything Nighthaunt has, which is so
Yeah.
Nighthaunt for the most part kept most of their current battle traits.
Yes,
Twos
they
and twos
did.
as well against wizards and priests, which is really nice with that Fell Reaper weapon. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
he's definitely. I think he has a place potentially in lists here.
Reikenor for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Dreadblades. I don't really know what I don't know what these guys did before.
I don't know much about Dreadblade
Fours and
Heroes,
threes minus 1
um,
crit auto wound. I mean, they all have that 6 up ward, same as normal. Remove this unit from the battlefield. Oh, so it basically has the it can teleport anywhere on the table essentially.
Yep, no matter
Outside
where
of
he
9.
is, even
Yeah.
if he's in combat.
Cool. We like that.
So-
That's fine.
It's kind of a weird one because it's a hero. No, it's a cavalry. Dreadblade Heroes is a cavalry.
It's
Yeah,
a
but
2
right now-
unit here 2 unit thing, I think.
No,
It's 2
currently a
guys.
Dreadblade Hero is a 5 wound cavalry hero.
Oh, so he's not a hero anymore.
That's kind of where I'm like, I'm not sure because it's a Dreadblade Hero versus Dreadblade Heroes, but like I'm not seeing Dreadblade Heroes.
I think it's somewhat like I think these are boxed like dragons where you can take 1 or you can take a unit of 2, I think.
Oh, okay. So it says once deployed as singular heroes to spread commands around your army, they now double up in units of 2 or up to 4 when they're reinforced.
Yeah.
And they help mobs of lesser troops contest important objectives with their cursed loyalty. So yeah, so now they're units of 2. Interesting.
Cool.
Interesting. Okay.
We like it. Banshees are pretty much the same. 12-inch unbind thing that they have.
Yep.
Still good.
Still really good.
Yeah, they don't have to be within 12 inches of the caster. They have to be within 12 inches of the targeted hero or targeted unit rather. So
Yeah.
they're great. They're great to huddle around in your castle. Not that you can castle effectively as much in this edition, but
Very, very powerful. It was very impressive when I played him against when I played Seraphon with them. So yeah,
Easy A for me.
easy A for me as well. That's where I have them.
and
And the other thing to note about these guys is that I know it sounds like a well duh, but like their keywords don't fucking matter, because anybody that has anti anything, it's like, okay, that doesn't do anything to me. Bud.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
ethereal, bud. Your anti infantry, your anti cavalry, your anti monster means nothing to me.
that's not
So-
necessarily the case. You're still going to get hit with there's certain ones that are plus. I think there's certain ones that are +1 attack, and there's certain ones that are +1 damage. Those will still affect you, but you're not getting hit with the anti-rend.
Anti rend, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
I-
great. We love that. I
Great.
mean, that
We
takes
love
an
that.
entire an entire cluster of rules out of the game essentially. You know.
Yep. And so there's so many units out there that it's like, oh, they're anti-infantry, and like, yeah, well, we don't care.
It's a big new thing in the game that the game is going to be leaning into that doesn't even affect the army, you know? So like that is just inevitably powerful.
I would say that they're still, in my opinion, low A tier.
I would agree. I don't think they're I don't think they're close to S, but I do think they're A.
Yeah, I 100% agree that they're A, but I think that their reliance on the fact that they're still ethereal and cannot modify their saves means that you can still have a bad dice roll and lose a unit that you, in other armies that are a 4-up save, could get to 3-up saves, and you're more mathematically unlikely to lose them. That's where I think they still suffer a little bit, is that they're still ethereal. Granted, they'll survive Rend, but it's also a swing, and it's not as consistent.
Yeah.
Just because
sure.
it can't be modified positively either.
Yeah.
Sure. So yeah, I agree.
That's why I still think they're low A tier. I don't think they're edging onto S tier. I think they're low A tier. They're definitely not.
Whatever the next A tier army is that we decide is A tier is probably going to be above Night Hunt. I would imagine.
There's one that we're not going to be able to add to the list, but I would like to add to the list is Lumineth. I think Lumineth are high A tier.
Not till we get that faction.
I
focus.
agree.
What? We already
Yeah,
have
I want to
all
wait for
things-
the focus.
We already have all the things that we would get in a faction focus.
We just got to blue ball you a little bit. You know?
Yeah. Speaking of blue balling, since we're now at the end of the Night Hunt reveal, I want to potentially blue ball our viewage here. So it is Thursday, okay, and we have been going for about 2.5 hours now. I've realized that if we do the last 4 factions, or sorry, it'll be the last 5 factions, then come this Monday, we will have nothing to talk about.
We'll have one faction to talk about from tomorrow.
We'll have one
yeah?
faction to talk about.
That's
So-
a good
two,
point.
Two. We'll have Saturday or Friday and Monday.
So we could either end on Night Hunt here or do one more, do Cities of Sigmar, and then we'll have 5 faction focuses for next
Yeah,
Monday.
let's do cities and then do the next 5. I think
Next
that'll
five.
make
Hold on.
sense because that will give us 5, and then it'll be 5
Hold
and
on.
That
5.
was 5. Yep.
Can
okay.
I make a slight modification to that, and can we talk about KO rather than cities?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Just because I talked about KO earlier, and I still want to bring that back to when we were talking about KO.
I'm here
'Cause-
for that. Yeah.
Fine. And believe me, it's hard to not talk about. It's hard to not talk about ogres today.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let's do it. Let's do KO, baby. Let's go.
All right. So, do you want to start off with this one, Rich?
Sure.
I got the battle
All right,
traits
so-
up right now.
So KO, what we're losing. Let's talk about the first thing that we're losing with KO. Fly High, as we know it, is dead. Long live the new Fly High. We're sitting instead of getting a Fly High command in the movement phase. Flying High is now a setup in reserve for I think just one boat and the units that can go in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yarp.
That's a big change.
Yeah.
It's a big change.
I have to say that I think it should have been at least 2.
I think the only reason that I think that might be premature is we don't, and this is something I want to talk about with KO. We don't know the points. What if ironclads go down to 400 points and you're fitting 2 ironclads and 2 whole ass like 20 model like groups in 2 ironclads that are now sitting in the sky is completely outside of your opponent's ability to interact with until they come down.
Whatever.
That's
I'll keep scoring points on the board then while you're off fucking about.
I don't think
Floating
that
and boating.
I don't think that that's a valid tactic against what I assume ironclads are going to be bringing to the table. But that's the reason I think that we're sitting at 1 is because the ironclads are going to be a lot of models that you can hide. I think that ironclads are probably going to be your fly high choice just because of being able to stack however many units are going to be there. And we don't know. Right now we know frigates can hold 12.
Yeah.
What?
Mhm.
What do you?
They can hold 12
is-
models.
Is that the way you're thinking of this? Sure. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. Sorry. Did you want me? It's a little bit weird because it's 2 units or
It's
12
units.
models.
Yeah, it's 2 units or 12 models, which is really weird. But
I don't. Yeah. Again, that's kind of weird because then what you could do is you could have what it's not allowing you to do is to put
A reinforced unit
like-
of like Thunderers in and a hero or something.
No,
you can do that still.
No, what it's not allowing you to do is
No.
have reinforced like Arcanaut. Remember, Thunderers are 5 models.
Oh
So
shit!
reinforced-
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Arcanaut.
what it's not
Yeah.
allowing you to do is it's not allowing you to take a reinforced Endrinrigger or Sky Wardens because those are 3s, and a unit of Thunderers and a hero.
Sure.
I think that's their concern is that 3 like that sort of like 3 thing where you're getting a reinforced smashy unit, you're getting a great shooting unit, and you're getting a hero to buff them. I think that's why it was limited to 2.
Yeah.
Well, for the frigate, we'll see what the ironclad says, baby.
That's true, but the ironclad's probably slower than the frigate, so you're not gonna have the same level of mobility. We're assuming. Again, we don't know what the ironclad's doing, but so flying high now puts a boat and the units that could go in that boat in reserve in the clouds, hanging out. They come down in your movement phase. You pick a friendly sky vessel, you bring that down, then you set up all the other units wholly within 6, more than 9 away. Transport skyfares. So no longer are we hiding our dudes in boats, which to me is good. I think because
love this.
I think that the way that KO played for a bit after their new book, bringing all of the units to a tournament was almost superfluous in some cases because you didn't need to bring most of them out of the boats.
Yeah, I love
You needed to bring
so
a couple of units out of the boats to score some battle tactics, but for the most part, you could have 10 Thunderers sitting in a frigate almost exclusively all the time, and they just never showed up on the board. Now you're hooked up like you used to have to hook up with the dirigible units. You have to be nearby the boat to move with the boat. That's the play. You hook up, pick a number of units up to the sky vessel's transport capacity. See its war scroll. There are wholly within 6 of it to be targets. Units that have been transported this turn cannot be targets. So you can't peasant railgun, if any of you are familiar with the D&D term, where peasants just pass a spear with a ready to action, which takes place in 6 seconds. So you can move a spear a million miles in 6 seconds and destroy whatever you're shooting. That's what they're trying to avoid. They're trying to avoid you playing hot potato with a unit of Thunderers, which is good.
Sure.
It's a good reason.
So
when
basically,
that
what
vessel
it's saying
moves-
is, if you transported them to a location, you have to wait a turn to move them to the new location. If you're moving.
So if I'm moving them with a frigate, I move a unit of 10 Thunderers with the frigate next to another frigate, put them wholly within 6 of that frigate. That new frigate can't take those same 10 Thunderers and then move it another 12 inches.
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
You're not passing them off. It's
Giving
one
them
unit gets
unlimited move, essentially.
Yeah.
Which is good. I like this.
Important part, units that are transported this way cannot use charge abilities. Now, I don't know how that interacts with the assault boat rule from the frigates. That's going to be something I think that might counteract this, where if you're using the assault boat, because the way the frigate assault boat works, we'll see in a second, is about charging a unit, charging the frigate, and then bringing other units in with it that are all striking first.
Well, this is only from shooting attacks. So,
what? No, I'm not talking about sky vessel cover. I'm talking about the end of transport skyfarers, where a unit cannot use charge abilities if it was transported this turn.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So it's
And then
keyworded as a
sky vessel.
charge.
It is, but it also says that you are
Cannot use charge abilities, and then this is a charge ability, keyword charge ability. So technically,
So I understand that, but I don't think that makes much sense. I think that I'm fairly certain that the assault boat rule should supersede the.
you would think so. That's probably how they want it to work.
Yeah, because otherwise, look at it from this perspective. When we're talking about the Arcanaut frigate, we're talking about assault boat.
Yeah.
This unit cannot use this ability if it is in combat or has used the run or retreat ability this turn. Pick a number of units up to its transport capacity that are wholly within 6 of it, and that have not charged this turn to be the targets. Then make a charge roll of 2d6. The effect is remove the targets from the battlefield. Then this unit can move a distance up to the value of the charge roll and must end the move within half an inch of a visible enemy unit. Then set up the targets wholly within this unit's combat range. The targets can be set up in combat and have strike first for the rest of this turn. This unit and the targets have charged. The question is, if it says that you can't, then when you're looking at this, you're looking at to make this rule work, you would need to have already guys in charge range.
I think. I think what matters with this is what is considered using a charge ability. Does a unit using a charge ability mean that unit must declare a charge ability, as in rolling a charge, Or does this count as like when previously it's like you cannot issue or receive commands? Is this receiving a charge ability from another unit? How are they clarifying that? Does that make sense?
Here's my question. Why does it bother you that you can't do that? Why does it bother you that you can't use transport Skyfarers
and assault boat?
And assault boat? Because the reality is the people that you're going to be doing this with, most likely, like 8 out of 10 times, are going to be like Sky Wardens, or what's the other version of them?
Engine riggers.
Or engine riggers, which already have a move of 12. So that's not what transport Skyfarers is meant to be abused with. It's meant to be abused for things like Thunderers that have 4-inch movement. That, hey, now instead of moving 4 inches, you move the 12 inches that the frigate moves. Like you're trying to pull in those slow units with you. And
then potentially charging in with a unit that moved with the boat.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like for the Arcanaut frigate, like you wouldn't want to use. I think it's intended exactly like that. Like transport sky, like don't use transport Skyfarers. Just move your 12 inches with your frigate, move your 12 inches with your Sky Wardens, and then a normal move, and then use assault boat.
And then also you can teleport those Thunderers with you, charge in. The Thunderers can be where you want from that fly high-esque move ability with them, and then you're charging the stuff you want to charge.
You wouldn't charge the Thunderers.
Yeah,
he's not saying. He's saying you charge in, you leave the Thunderers behind.
You leave the Thunderers behind.
Okay,
so,
yes, 100%, yeah.
I understand what you're saying, but I don't think that it's as cut and dry as saying only engine riggers and Sky Wardens are trying to take advantage of the assault boat. You're also looking at Arcanaut Company. You're also looking at heroes that want to take advantage of this assault boat rules. Arcanaut Company specifically because we don't know what they're going to do, but I assume they're not going to be as good in melee combat or as engine riggers and Sky Wardens. So what you're wanting to do with this is give them the ability to strike first. So I don't think you can't Kronspine because it's not a Skyfarer unit.
You're ridiculous.
No, I think it's just a unit.
No, it's a Skyfarer unit.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, you're talking about for the assault boat rules.
No, I thought I was thinking for the transport Skyfarers rule. You could teleport a Kronspine with you. Just ignore me.
You won't be able to tell. You won't be able to teleport. You know why you won't be able to teleport a Kronspine?
Why?
How are you supposed to have a manifestation lore without any wizards, dog?
They're
not getting a manifestation lore, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's right.
Because that's the thing I wanted to talk about specifically with the KO. So let's finish talking about the boat. I think that assault boat should let you transport Skyfarers and then assault boat. We'll have to see what they decide if they decide to clarify.
Yeah.
Other than that, the boat itself is similar enough to what it does now.
Yeah.
I don't know what anything in KO does. I never have. I just get shot and roll saves, man. So
I just sat there with Aura of Sterility.
That's
didn't even worry.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah. So
didn't worry my pretty little head.
So what Justin's saying in the chat about the dudes who are using the assault boat not using a charge ability, I think Justin is interpreting it how I'm interpreting it, which is because they're not the ones taking advantage of this charge ability. They're the ones who are benefiting from the charge ability, but they're not using a charge ability. Yeah, is I think
it's the difference. It's the difference between like when it's like this unit cannot use or issue or be issued commands or whatever, like the current debuffs that you can give stuff. It's the same thing. So it just depends how they rule that. If a unit receives a charge ability from another unit, does that count as charging or using that keyworded ability?
Sure.
Which we just don't know.
We don't know. I still think their bomb racks suck, and I think that they need to be better.
Yeah,
the bomb racks currently are the same thing where you have to pass over a unit in the movement phase. Yeah. This is a pain in the ass with a 12-inch move. Because if you think about it, to pass over it, like you would either need to move forward 3 inches and then back 3 inches to make advantage of it, which is half your movement, which means you were 6 inches away in the first place.
Yeah.
or you're
And the
not.
ability's not
You're
that
not
good
doing it.
for being 6 inches out just to get it.
Yeah, yeah. No, you can run. You might have things that give you more movement that make this more advantageous, but just based off of the rules that we see on the War Scroll, I think it sucks. I think it's bad. I think it needs to be better. I think it should be like if you're that close, it should be like 8 dice on 3s rather than 6 dice on 4s. But
Yeah.
the bomb racks have always been kind of shit in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what we're saying, Justin. You need to be less than 6 away, or you need to be running to do this for a successful flyover.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a pain in the ass, and I don't think it's good. We're looking at Sky Wardens though now, because I think we've talked about these
scrolling up.
friggin' enough.
So we've got special procurement. It's get an extra artifacts of power. We saw a couple here. So ward rolls can't be made. It's the same once per battle thing.
Automatic, which is nice.
Yep.
Automatic, not on a 2-up, which is great.
Yep. Pick an enemy monster within 12 until the start of your next turn. Subtract 1 from the number of dice rolled when making charge rolls for that target.
Seeing a lot of those lately, and that's so
good.
Powerful.
Yeah, we love that. Obviously, super good. And then
I'm a little bit confused about that particular one having a combat phase option.
Oh, I mean,
I can't think of a situation where I would want to use it in the combat phase.
not yet.
Yeah, there could be something, but I'm not sure what it is. So that's why I'm like it's had me scratching my head. It's not a problem because you can still use it in the shooting phase anyway.
Yeah.
There is one thing I wanted to point out though with the Engineers Guild Expeditionary Force, the battle formation is this happens. The extra artifact happens in the deployment phase, which means that it's different game to game.
oh, that is
That's
really
nice.
cool. Yeah.
That's really
That's
nice.
phenomenal. That you're not locked into. I took the Celestium and the Magbolas, but I don't have the Voidstone Orb, and I'm facing off against Teclis. Where you want to be able to shut off at least one spell successfully in a key moment. It's I'm facing off against Teclis. I'm facing off against Croak. Let me take the Voidstone Orb this turn around. It's
I'm facing
think
Gargants.
that's
Let me take the -1
-1 to charge.
thing. Yeah.
Or I'm facing off against a Gargant that has a 5-up ward in Broad. Let me
Turn it
take the
off.
Celestium Grenade,
Exactly. I like that they crossed out this. Arcana and Invocations is crossed out and just switched with good stuff. Brock, he's still got mustache guns, I believe, right? Is that him?
Yeah. Mustache guns. It's not a shooting profile anymore. It's an end of turn. It's kind of like a mini monster rampage. The first rule of Grungson is better because it's not battle formation locked anymore or sub-faction locked. It used to be sub-faction locked to Barrack Zahn, which is the melee focused old sub-faction.
Which he does not even have a he does not even have a sub-faction
keyword
at all.
He's Duarden and Skyfarer. So he's out there getting the advantage of those Skyfarer vessels. He's just like everyone else, which is good. And Command the Fleet. Command the Fleet is sick. I love Command the Fleet.
Oh yeah.
It's once per battle, so it's definitely a climactic moment, but choosing 3 visible friendly sky vessels wholly within 24 of this unit that are not in combat to run, shoot, and charge.
Yeah.
Great ability. He's a War Master, so he's out here always being your general. I wonder, now that I'm thinking about it, War Master, does that mean that if he's in a squadron or whatever they're called, platoon? No, they're battalions.
Battalions, yeah.
Yeah, if he's in a battalion, does that mean that his battalion can have 4 units like the general's battalion can?
I would imagine.
Could be.
Well, because what else would War Master be doing for you? Because you're not there's no command ranges anymore.
Yeah.
So
I'll look into it.
Yeah, we'd have to double check what War Master's giving. But I think War Master might allow you to take an extra unit in your battalions, which is cool. That means that you can have 10 units in 2 battalions.
Yeah.
1 hero, 4 other units in the battalion, 1 hero, 4 other units in the battalion. That might be interesting tech with the War Master, but we're not sure. We don't know what it does. This is just speculation on my part. I was just thinking about like what does War Master do for you now? Because before it was about command ranges and counting as a general. Does that still hold over when you're talking about battalions? I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
a good
have
question.
no
Yeah.
idea. Yeah, I'll figure it out though. But yeah, I mean, looks good. I mean, Frigate we just talked about looks great. Sky Wardens, that would be the next big unit here.
So Sky Wardens changed almost not at all.
Yeah.
They're,
Sky Wardens are still Sky Wardens. Two wounds, 4-up save. A lot of people thought they should have gone up to 3, but I mean,
I think the Endrin Riggers are probably going to go up to 3.
yeah, probably.
I think the Sky. So I think for anyone who's like, I think the Sky Warden should go up to 3. I don't think with their timed charges that it's ever going to be like. I don't think they're ever going to be better than a 4-up because of the ability to just flee from combat after you attack.
Sure. Okay.
Oh, but it's end of any turn. Wait, that's bad, isn't it?
End of any turn.
Maybe they should be a 3-up save. I lied. I thought it was after they attacked. They were striking and fading on a 2-up.
No. I mean, you could theoretically do it at the end of your turn, you know. But no, it's not. I see. You want it to be strike and fade. No, it's not strike and fade.
It was before, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how I lost my game of KO against my game against KO when I was playing OBR at Kansas City Open.
Okay.
Because I was trying to leave my Cavalos in range and his Sky Wardens just fucking pieced out after I killed his frigate in the center.
Oof. Jake, can you scroll down to Thunderers?
Oh, yeah. It was at the end of combat phase, so it was still rough. Never mind, it's fine. It's the same, but I think it should be better.
So Thunderers basically got their attack profiles just really streamlined.
Yeah.
And those deck sweepers are going to be real good. I mean, that's going to be 10 shots, 3s and 4s, 1 rend, 1 damage, probably 2 rend if you're going up against infantry, which why wouldn't you shoot infantry with these? And then these guys always shoot in combat. Don't hold this position as always shoots in combat. I don't understand this. And let's not get too into the weeds about this, but yeah, these guys always shoot in combat no matter what anybody tells you.
They don't always shoot in combat.
They always shoot in combat. No one has yet to present a place where they cannot shoot in combat.
What if they've charged?
Well, they would have shot.
They would have already shot.
They
would have already shot.
Oh,
in combat.
I see what you're saying.
Shooting combat, your shooting happens in the shooting phase. Like they're always hitting with their melee weapon, so it's different than what we predicted, where they're like actually using their shooting profile in combat.
I got you. Redeployed. If they've redeployed, they can't shoot in combat if they get charged. Take that, you fiend.
You can't. No. Hear me out.
I know.
No.
I know.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
I know. You're not wrong. They're always shooting. If they're in combat and it's the shooting phase, they're going to be shooting.
They're going to be shooting combat. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but otherwise they look good. So into the final.
Yeah. I have them at high B tier, simply because of what Victor was talking about. That move shenanigans works on redeploys. So at the end of your turn, at the end of your opponent's movement phase, you can redeploy, and you can basically screen. You're right. Screen. Let's say you got a bunch of Arcanaut in front of the frigate. End of your movement, you move the frigate. Then you pull the Arcanaut with you. Put the Arcanaut on the other side of the frigate, and now you've just created essentially like a 12-inch charge. It's dumb. These movement shenanigans are probably. There's a chance it gets nerfed. To be honest.
They always get some bullshit with movement. I feel like every time any change happens to KO, you instantly are. You're instantly seeing some changes to how that functions because people just try to break it. But
yeah, So yeah,
I'm with you on that though.
yeah, I think high B tier right now. I currently have them as the highest B tier. Um,
I'm gonna
And
go
yeah.
ahead and say that they're low A tier.
point dependent. Point dependent on that.
So here's and let me expand on that real quick, because when we're talking about point dependent, we're talking about the fact that we assume that most armies are going to go up in points. I don't think KO is going to go up in points as much as most armies. And there's
Because
very
of the spell lores, right?
because they're never taking a manifestation. They're never getting those extra points from a manifestation lore that every other army in the game except for Khorne, which is another one that I don't think is going to go up in too many points because they don't have a spell lore. Well, no, they have a manifestation lore. KO is the only one because they can bring their manifesting their prayer manifests, their invocations. I don't think KO is going to go up. KO might even, in some cases, go down in points. I think the frigate and the ironclad might go down in points.
Oof. I guess we'll see on that. I don't agree with gets at C tier. I'm not affiliated with you.
I don't know. I think they're C tier. I'm gonna probably move them 10 times.
All right, we'll see.
I think if you're gonna put, you know what? I think I agree with Jake. So far, what we've seen, it gets their C tier.
Yeah, I have belief in them, but I think even Sam said in the chat they've only gotten nerfs, so it's like they were already probably like a high B tier. I don't know.
I don't consider that recursion a nerf. Sorry.
Yeah,
Like, it's a
yeah.
like you're no longer rolling. Like you just get it. That's really strong.
But it costs you command point
Sure.
in a thing where command points are scarce.
Trading command points for points in a game where points are going up across the board. I'm okay with that.
You're not wrong.
I don't know. We'll see. They're gonna go up and down and up and down. Plus, we got 2 more before Monday, and then we're gonna have a whole nother week of them. So I think,
Yeah.
So far, no Fs though, and this is where I want to cap this off. I want to explain my rationale here. If this is what we're working on, like a 5-point scale, I mean, we need to break this into extra tiers, like
Tell you
a
what,
B, we need an S, A, B, C, D in each of these as well to be more
He
specific.
wants an A plus B minus. Get out of here,
no,
please.
No.
God, how dare you?
Let's wait until not this Monday, but maybe the Monday after to decide that.
We'll have what at that point? We'll have another 8 factions.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have had 15 total at that point.
Realistically, though, if you look at this, I think
No,
just
we'll
to
have
set
total,
expectations on what everything is, like a B here is like that's like a 50-50 win rate, like 50% win rate, like
I would say so.
right, like that's an average level army. Like I would say when I rate movies, when I rate movies and games, right, or anything that I watch normally, if we're going through like, a scale, like a 5 out of 10, right? Mm-hmm. That's the average movie for me when I rate things, So it's like if you're below a 5 out of 10, you're under average in terms of my rating scale. If you're a 6 out of 5 or a 6 out of 10, you're slightly above average. So while some of because we're using numbers and we have associations to each or letter grade, right? This is really like on a 5-point scale, a 5, a 4, a 3, a 2, and a 1. And like a 3 would be like directly in the middle. Like this is a super average thing. So
I think, if I had to equate this, S tier.
Fine.
S tier is a 60% win rate.
Yes.
S tier is 60%. A tier is 55%. B tier is a 50. C tier is a 45. D tier is a 40.
I think what we'll end up having to do is like, if you guys can see it right now, like just creating like even a break here. So like the stuff on top of the line will be like the high A tier, and the stuff below it would be like the low A tier.
Let's not get crazy.
And then we could add a couple more lines.
hold up. I'm gonna do something weird here, and I'm gonna agree with Jake. I think,
Oh, boy.
I think just split it right down the middle. It's high tier, low tier of
Yeah.
that
Well,
thing.
that's why, Jake. I'm gonna like. There's probably a website you can go to make tier lists, and then if we just have them from left to right, left is the best, right is the least.
It's more fun though, like this. I like
Okay.
paint.
All
I
right.
can draw like smiley faces and things.
Whatever, you kindergartner.
God damn.
No, I love you, bud. All right.
God damn.
Well, this was productive, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't actually talk about the their averages aside from the monsters. We didn't talk about like humans hitting on 4s, winning on 4s. We didn't talk
Yeah.
about that, unfortunately. We
It's
didn't get
fine.
around to it.
We'll
we
get
can
to
talk
that.
about that first thing Monday.
Yeah. Especially because we'll be starting with cities, which has humans and all that stuff, so we can kind of
Yeah.
look at that too. But with that being said, how long have we been going? Like almost 2.5 hours. Oh boy.
2.5, yeah.
It's time for me to
Let's
get
call-
dinner.
Let's call it.
Hell yeah.
I already have dinner. My Chinese right here.
All right.
Damn. Let me
Yeah.
get some of that.
My dog say it's time to fucking wrap it up, boys.
All right.
Your
Well-
dogs are barking.
We will see y'all. Peace out. And
Peace out.
that's all she wrote. I'm ending the stream right now. We'll see you next
All right.
time with cities. Peace.
See you guys on Monday.
Bye.